Danful offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshi traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danful, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danful, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danful, Africa. To learn more, visit danful.africa.
Peace, fam. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thanks so much for joining. Hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Got a couple of announcements. And also, number one, we're rolling to Senegal. Well, I actually, greetings from Ghana, brother Dynasty. Timeless Ascension. Thank you. Welcome. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. But yeah, I head to New York next Friday. Then that Saturday, we are off to Senegal. I am looking forward to it. I am so looking forward to getting to Senegal for the Jazz Festival. And listen, if you're last minute and if you want to join us, please visit Danfo, that's DANFO .Africa to learn more. We would love to host you in Senegal. Again, we will love to host you in Senegal. Also, we are rolling to Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival, and we are going to Zanzibar in September, Kenya in September, and then Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Sierra Leone in November. So if you're interested in joining us, please visit danfo.africa to learn more. I think I'm going to start recording back downstairs here soon. Yeah, I think I'm gonna head back downstairs here soon. Yeah, and I wonder what's going. In fact, we got to get a Kimmy Seba update real quick to see what's going on with him, because he recently got arrested in South Africa, unfortunately. So we need to see how Kimmy is doing. Hopefully, he's okay. Hopefully he's doing all right. Hopefully the brother is safe. So yeah, we'll check on Kimmy here after this. Shout out to Marie Shy, everybody. Shout out to you, Marie. Thank you for the support, Marie. Marie came on the very first tour ever that we ever did to Africa when we went to Nigeria, August of 2019. Marie was with us, and we are so thankful for your support and you what's the word I want to use? Holding it down. There we go. I was about to say handing it down, but holding it down. In the chat, our moderator. South Africa is currently showing the rest of the continent the love they always have for us. Did you guys see the situation today? I think I don't want to bring that up. That's probably another show. But yeah, there's definitely a xenophobia issue in South Africa. And the show yesterday, because we had an FBA call in. And guys, I want I'm gonna do a separate show on this. Shout out to Jamar Harp, y'all. Jamar, you got to come to Nigeria with me in August if you're not coaching. When's the last time I ran? I ran yesterday. I ran like 7 miles yesterday. I ran like 7.5 miles yesterday on the belt line. Love the belt line. You know, I appreciate Atlanta more. Like I love this belt line. So I was at the gym yesterday. I thought one of my classes was going to be at 12:30, but it wasn't at the location I was at. So my gym is right on the belt line. So I put my stuff in my locker, and I ran the belt line. So I ran from like Krog City, Highland, if you're familiar with Atlanta, from like Highland all the way through Piedmont Park, all the way the belt line stretches behind Ansley Mall, all the way to kind of like where if you're going 85 north, where like it splits to go, I think that exit is Buford Highway, no, or the Piedmont exit. The Piedmont exit off of the Piedmont exit off of 85 north, right before you get to 400. Like the belt line, I didn't know it went that far. So I ran all the way there, turned around, started running back. And there was another runner who was running, and we just ran together all the way back. So yeah. Like I said, it was about 7 miles. But had a good time. I enjoyed it. So yeah, I absolutely love the belt line now. I appreciate it. I appreciate Atlanta. What Atlanta is grown into now. It's gotten expensive, y'all. Thank God I bought when I bought. So I bought my home in 2014 when it was still relatively affordable. But Atlanta's expensive now, y'all. It's expensive as hell now. But yeah, but that run was a cool run. So I'm once a week. On Sundays I run the belt line over by my house. So my house is right on the belt line as well. So on my end in the West End. So yeah, but now I'm gonna do Peachtree this year too. But this is Africa. Go to the site, check out where we're going, where we're traveling to. Sign up for an experience. We'll love to host you. Yeah, but let's check in on Kimi Seba. Let's see here. Cause like I said, he got arrested, but I just haven't heard anything since then. Oh, he got arrested in. Yeah, so he was arrested. Oh, that's a while ago. He got arrested in South Africa, but I don't understand why would he get arrested in South Africa? What did he do? But here we go.
In sports, what they say, speed kills. Competitive advantage. Guess what? Same thing in finance.
The West African nation of Benin is preparing an extradition request for an influencer who expressed support for the coup attempt in December. The country seeks the return of the activist Kemi Seba. Now remember, Seba is currently in South Africa. He was arrested on the 13th of April along with his 18-year-old son. South African authorities picked them up as they were trying to cross into Zimbabwe. Pretoria has detained him for breaching immigration laws. Benin had issued an international warrant for Seba on the 12th of December. This was just after the failed coup attempt on the 7th of December, when some Beninese soldiers had come on television and declared that they had overthrown President Patrice Talon. At the time, Seba had welcomed the coup. In fact, he had put out a video as well declaring that it was the day of liberation for Benin. But the coup failed and Seba fled the country. And now Benin wants him back. Seba has about 1.5 million followers on social media. He's been a prominent critic of the West, especially of France and its role in West Africa.
Seba. Elvis, you said he got extradited to Benin. Let me Let me ask my boy in Benin real quick. What's going on with her? Did Kimmy Saba get extradited to Benin? Is he in jail there? Oh, wow.
Has also been accused of spouting Russian propaganda. He was actually born in France, but he was stripped of his French nationality
I just asked
in
my boy in Benin.
2024 after being sentenced for incitement to racial hatred. When he was arrested in South Africa earlier this month, he was carrying a diplomatic passport from Niger,
Right.
which recently saw a successful coup and which has also seen a rise.
Right. So he does have a diplomatic passport from Niger, which is interesting. So now this is the question. If you have a diplomatic passport, you have diplomatic immunity, from what I've been told. I thought. Am I wrong? Again, if you have a diplomatic passport, you should have diplomatic immunity. Is that the case? Am I wrong? Am I right? I thought you have diplomatic immunity if you're a diplomat. And that he would have to be extradited to Niger, not Benin. I thought that's how it worked. You have to present yourself in that country and be accredited. Elvis, I don't know, Elvis. I don't think it works like that. Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's continue.
In anti-France sentiment. South African prosecutors are currently verifying the authenticity of Seba's Niger passport. Meanwhile, the activist has applied for an asylum in South Africa. Will Pretoria grant him an asylum?
See, that's the thing. So right now they're investigating if his diplomatic passport in Niger is legit. Because if it's legit, I don't think they got to let him go. I don't think they can extradite him. Yeah. I don't think yeah, he has diplomatic immunity. Yeah, he could be abducted, true. No, you don't need a letter, Elvis. Elvis, if you have a diplomatic passport, again, they're confirming if it's legit. It's legit. So I think they have to let him go. But you're right, he could be abducted. But they would have to return him. They would have to send him to Niger.
Asylum, or will he be returned to Benin to face prosecution? That is the big question.
That's the sound of an American oil company hard at work.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
A major international manhunt has ended at a shopping mall in Pretoria. South African police have arrested a high-profile fugitive connected to a failed coup attempt in Benin. Now, his name is Kemi Siba. He is a prominent anti-Western activist and a fierce critic of French influence in Africa. Seba was taken into custody in Pretoria this week. Police said that Seba, whose real name is Stelio Giles Robert Chapochichi, was intercepted at a shopping center along with his 18-year-old son, but they weren't alone. Police also arrested a third man who they say was a paid guide. Now, this man was allegedly paid over $15,000 to help Seba and his son to illegally cross the Limpopo River into Zimbabwe. And from there, the plan was simple: get to Europe and evade the international warrants that are out for his arrest. But those plans hit a wall, and Seba is now being held in South African custody, and the extradition process is underway. So why is Kemi Seba a wanted man? The trial leads back to Benin, a former French colony. Last year in December, a group of rebel soldiers claimed that on television that they have overthrown the former president Patrice Talon.
The Military Committee for Refoundation, CMR, which met on Sunday, December 7, 2025, in Cotonou, deliberated and decided the following: Mr. Patrice Talon is removed from office as President of the Republic.
While the coup attempt was deadly, it was short-lived. The military, with help from Nigeria and France, had put it down within hours. Seba, however, publicly celebrated the attempt. He posted a video calling it the Day of Liberation for Benin. In response, Benin authorities issued an international warrant for his arrest on charges of inciting rebellion and justifying crimes against state security. Since that failed coup, Benin has jailed around 30 people, mostly soldiers, while several others remain on the run. To understand Seba, you have to understand his political ideology. He is the head of the NGO Pan-Africanist Emergency and has over 1.5 million social media followers. He is famous for his vocal attacks on France and its allies in Africa. Because of this, he has been at the center of many controversies. In France, he has been sentenced multiple times for inciting racial hatred and has faced accusations of anti-Semitism. In fact, in 2024, the French government stripped him of his French nationality. Seba has also been accused of being a mouthpiece for Russian propaganda. In 2024, he was detained by French police on suspicion of having links to the Russian paramilitary group Wagner. Now, while he is a fugitive in Benin, Seba has found friends elsewhere. The military junta in Niger has granted him a Nigerian passport, and now Seba's legal team is already fighting back against his arrest, calling him a victim of absurd persecution. Meanwhile, Benin's administration isn't waiting around. They are already organizing a delegation to travel to South Africa to handle the formalities for Seba's return. Reports suggest that Seba has requested to be sent to Niger rather than Benin, a move that would likely keep him out of a Benin prison cell. Meanwhile, Seba's arrest coincides with the big political change in Benin. The ex-president Talon has just stepped down, and his successor, Romuald Waragani, was recently elected with over 94% of the vote. For now, Seba and his son remain in custody until their next court appearance on the 20th of April. Now, will the government of Benin be able to extradite Seba in the coming days? That remains to be seen.
All right, let's get into today's topic. Saw this on X today. And guys, I'll go ahead and put the link in the chat room if you guys want to call in after the conversation. I'll put the link in the chat room. And guys, as this plays, I have to go check on something real quick. Right downstairs. But give me so this is Russia escorting tankers into Bamako. So let's play this real quick. So they have the air support.
It's very interesting. Let's start a little bit with the root causes, because without them, difficult to understand why and how everything happened. So, beginning of this year, the French decided that they're gonna go in counter-offensive because the African countries kicked them out 3 years ago from the Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Now, think of this. The French also declaring now to be a European superpower with the nuclear armaments. And for them is important not only to keep their nuclear electricity generation going on, but also to build more nuclear weapons as a means to be geopolitical player. But where is their main source of uranium, or from which they are getting their, weapon grade uranium? Apparently, it's a Niger. So how the Niger is connected to the Mali? First of all, it's not verified, the same region, and it's also very rich country with the mineral resources. So Mali, in the same level, are basically filled up with the, not only gold, at the same level, different other minerals, including uranium. So attempt of the French to create the chaos and basically do the regime change in Mali failed on 25th of the April. There was a very well prepared coup attempt, basically, where between 10 to 12,000, forces, so-called rebel, between them, half of them, or even more, it's basically Al-Qaeda integrated with the ISIS, and then Jimim, so-called affiliated group, and of course the Tuareg fraction, which was basically people who trying to establish their Azawite state. So think of this 10 to 12 people decided simultaneously attack not only capital, but different other places. So they expecting that this would be a fatal blow to regime and regime will collapse.
All right, I'm back, guys. Yeah, I had walked away for a second, but guys, links in the chat room if you want to call in, call in. If not, we'll go ahead and close out. No, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, so that's what's going on in Mali. You know, I want Bamako, I want Mali to crush these jihadists. I want them to crush these jihadists. I'm rooting for everybody that's against these jihadists. That's what I'm doing. If you are against the jihadists, I am rooting for you. I am rooting for you if you are against, if you're fighting against the jihadis, I'm rooting for you. Go ahead, Africa.
Yeah, great Zionist. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, these people have been, very, dangerous to our future generations in Africa. They're robbing our future. But we should also know, not to be naive, that we know the people who are behind it, and you know, they need to be basically they've been used to destroy their own people, left, right, and center. And I was listening to you guys the other day. As I always say, it's a race war. It's a race war going on in Mali, and obviously it's been amplified by the people who we know who are actually our frenemies. So this race war, is a war that we need to win. We're fronted by this race war from the north, the south, and yeah, and some in some extent to the east. What I think definitely is a race war. They've been using, they're trying to use it against each other in the continent. But also we know the number one reason why the problem is happening in the Sahel is because of their mineral resources. They're after the mineral resources, 100%. And uranium is one of the valuable stocks you just mentioned there, because right now a lot of countries trying to go green, and is a thing that's going to happen regardless. And AI is coming, is kicking in a lot of these industries, and the only thing left for them is the things that enable that to happen, which is the mineral resources. They don't need manpower like that anymore, like they used to. Now they got the technology to do it. They just want the thing to power the technology and the tools to be, that they could use to make these things. That's it. So whoever is actually existing on top of this stuff, they're gonna get smashed. And it's about time we actually wake up and stand up for what is our own and defend it. If this jihad is going to be used by these people, they should be crushed together. They're just as bad as the people who are sending them. So that's how I see it. I pass it back from the Dennis.
Okay, go ahead, V.
Hello, guys. Good day.
Hello.
Good day.
Hello,
Yeah.
sis.
Yeah. Hello. How are you?
Yeah, can't complain. Nice to hear from you. Nice to have you again.
Or shall I say the salo? We had a body.
The
Body
body
good.
fine.
Oh
The
yeah,
body
the body fine. Yes,
Body good.
the body fine.
Okay.
Yeah, the body fine. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I've watched and listened to you guys sometimes, and I've also watched. I've sort of seen the news and read and listened to, and what is happening in the Sahel is very, very sad, really. Sad in the sense that now they are not even hiding it. As our Africa has already said, it's all about the resources. It's not about the people, it's about the resources. there is a lot of dynamism going on in the Sahel, and they're playing on it. Now, what saddens me is you have a lot of the coastal countries thinking that, oh, if what they want to achieve managed to happen in the Sahel, which I doubt it would happen, but there's going to be, in the meantime, there's going to be a lot of turbulence. If they manage to get through what they want to do in the Sahel, they're not going to stop there. They'll push it down south onto the coastal countries. The reason why it's about the resources is that I'm not going to mention anything, but what I'll say is West Africa as a whole, they know holds a lot of resources. West Africa holds a lot of resources. Places like Mali has tons of gold. Mali, sometimes you don't even have to dig very deep to get to their gold. It's not very deep. You can just go through the surface a little bit and then you meet in gold, and you meet chunks of gold, not just little, that's how rich the land is. I listened to Abdul Rahman Chiani, who is the current Niger president. And he said the intel that they've picked up, well, if he's wrong, I'm wrong. I just listened to what he said. He was saying that they want to break Mali up into 4. And they want to set it up as a religious state. Because there's different groups of people. And with Africans, when you talk about religion, some of us just go crazy. And it's like, oh, turning to religious state that because they want to break Mali up into 4. And and obviously the people up north, they're using them. Because how can you say that you want a group of people, these Tuaregs, they're less than 2% in Mali, They're less than 2% in Mali. They're under 100, they're about 800 million or 700, 800 million in Burkina. They have a little bit presence in Niger Niger, because their land, their ancestral land is actually in Libya. But there's some of it still over into Niger and Niger. In Mali, it's all with this migration and movement. That's how they ended up in Mali, right? Their ancestral home is up north in Libya, and also certain extent in Algeria. Right. In Algeria, they've been pushed out of there, and most of them ended up in Mali. And being Africans, we brothers, same religion, so forth and so on. Then Malians welcome them. And now look what they're doing to Mali. How can you say people who are less than 2% of a group in Niger now, Mali, they should divide the country into 2 and give them half? And within that region too, there are other ethnic groups there. Gawos are not Gawo people are not Tuaregs. No. They are African ethnic group that they're there. There are many. Was it the Dogons are also there? Very famous.
Dogons, Bambara, Songhai, Fulani. All these people up there.
Yeah, and you want to hand over a chunk of land to them, simply for what? And they're claiming they've been ethnically oppressed.
Hey guys, real quick, I gotta go pick up my son. We could end it here. You guys could stay.
Who stay, Dennis?
Okay, all right, I'll be right back.
Okay, sir.
Do you want us to stay on? Well, there's nobody. What are we gonna talk about it?
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine to say. Yeah.
No, I was going to say that with the Tuaregs, they have been involved in everything that's gone on in that part of the world. Pacific, even they were involved in the slave trade and everything else. So how can you say these people are oppressed? If anything, they're the one that has oppressed other people with their superiorist mentality that they're supposed to dominate this other group of Africans because of whatever they think they are. So it's just the story they're telling doesn't match up. They are not oppressed. They are causing chaos simply because they think they are entitled to be given a huge chunk of land. And the land that they're demanding is huge, If you look at the map that they're talking about, they want a piece from Burkina, Niger, and then even into yeah, that 3 countries. But they're not talking about Algeria or even where their ancestral home is, which is Libya. They're not even talking about that. So how can Mali hand over such a huge chunk of their geographical area to them? For what? Why there's also other ethnic group there, and how are they, going to feel? So they should hand the land over to them, and then in turn they turn around and suppress them or what? I don't know. It's very sad, but as you said, they always use our own people to do their dirty work for them. And with the coastal countries, I feel very sad for our leaders that they're sitting there doing nothing. If these people succeed, do they think we are also safe down there? I don't think so. I don't think so. If they succeed. And in West Africa, there's a huge mineral deposit of all kinds all over. They keep finding even more. In Ghana, they keep finding everything. And every time I hear they find something, they find this and that mineral, my heart begins to pound, and I'll say to myself, oh dear God, let them leave it on the ground, in the ground, for the generation that will have good sense and want to make good use of this mineral. Because most of our leaders now, they find it, they just handing it over straight to them to do what they want.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's very sad.
Yeah, really sad. I mean, you're right. The Tuaregs are actually from Libya. I said that the other time. They know what's happening.
The ancient time.
Yeah. They actually, people think because they light skin, they're foreigners, but they actually are native to Africa from the north. They occupy the north throughout.
I mean, they've been there, and they've mixed with all the people that invasions that came onto the land. If you look at the history.
Yeah, they've been chased out by the Arabs. The Arabs chased them out.
Yeah.
Okay. They've been chased out. So the more they chase them out from their ancestral home, the more they feel like they have to come and chase the black people down further down. So it's like a sandwich. They in a sandwich, but it's not going to work this time because the reality is people are waking up to them because we the black Africans, we, especially my people, the Bambara, the Songhai, and the others, they've been entertaining them for years, giving them home because of religion, as I said, intermarriages, and settle down and they feel comfortable. I mean, this is how we lost places like Mauritania and, places like that. So,
Mauritania is carry on.
Yeah, and so they're very sneaky. What the Arab do to them is the same thing they're trying to do to us. But is this time, us the younger generation, we know our history. We're not going to allow that now. It's done. It's over. If they want, go on.
Now, I was going to say regarding Mauritania, you have about 20% of a group ruling, sort of one in charge of about 80% of Africans there. Do you know that what is happening in Mauritania?
I know. It's funny because majority of the people in like of the Ghana Empire, which I think the Akan people are used to be part of the Ghana Empire. That's their ancestral home. That's where they was driven off to where Ghana is today. So you can see these people, their trend is like this has been happening for years and they haven't stopped. It's about time we put a hold to it. Like, nip it in the bud. That's it. It's done.
The thing with West Africa now is the whole geographic area is being settled by one ethnic group or the other, or by one tribe or the other. So there is no space for anybody to push down to now. Gone were the days where there's huge sway of land and people could move and then settle elsewhere. It cannot happen now. Now the whole area is settled. If you go to any part of West Africa, you will find one ethnic group or the other, or one tribe or the other, been living there for thousands of years. So if these people think they can, why they keep pushing us and our leaders do nothing, we will end up in a sea. Because that's why we went up. In a sea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
yeah, I agree. I agree. We will end up we'll end up being homeless again. And the thing is, we ain't got no other place in the planet Earth that would accommodate us.
oh,
Our
because
home
I
is our
mean,
home.
you all know about
Mm.
what is happening. This group don't want that people here. That group don't want that people there. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it. Gone were the days
Mm.
where people could move from one area to the other and find a place to settle. They'll find good
Mm.
land and live off the land
Yeah.
or do whatever it is that they want
Yeah.
to do, and they'll be very comfortable. Now you can't do that. You cannot do that in West
Mm.
Africa. You can't,
No.
because if you find a whole group of people moving from one place, there's going to be conflict because they'll feel like, well,
Yeah.
we've been here for a while and we can't just allow you
Yeah.
people to come in. And do you
Yeah.
understand? And in a
Yeah. It's true.
certain extent, it is happening in a very unpleasant
Mm.
way. It has
Yeah.
started, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, this is people are saying that Mali should, how can, it's like Mali should, the Sahelians should capitulate. I mean, I listened to one Mali lady. She was being interviewed. I think she's sort of in academia somewhere in Mali, in Africa. And she was being interviewed in one of these foreign media.
Okay.
And she
Yeah.
said, and I agree with her entirely. She said, currently, the way the situation is, it's either the Sahel fight these
Mm.
people
Mm.
and finish them, or
Mm.
those people have to finish them because they can't
Yeah.
just leave it as it is.
No.
Do you understand? That they will
No.
have some sort of
But
discussion.
yeah.
Carry on.
But what surprised me is the amount of black people that I see that's been captured, within this terrorist group. It's actually really shocking, man. Like really, really shocking. The amount of black people that you see among them. Wow.
Yeah, but most of the people you see among them, unfortunately, are also coming from troubled areas within the region, within the
In the
Sahel.
Sahel. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and apparently they're even getting people from Darfur. Now Darfur have their own ongoing problem happening, and that is why they're
Yeah,
using the religion. They're
yeah.
using the religion, telling these people
You're right.
that
You're right. You're right. Because when I see some of them, because in West Africa we have certain phenotype, right? When I see
Mhm.
some of them, they look like East African to me, bro.
Yeah,
When I see
yeah,
some of them, they look like people from that region, like from
yeah,
Sudan and
they
yeah,
look like
you're spot on, like in Chad, like Chadic and
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
They look like
yeah.
people that you would describe as nilotic. They're more, I mean, you should say West
Thank
Africa, we
you.
have
Yes,
certain phenotype, and they have a certain phenotype over there as well. Even though they
yeah,
can cross somehow, you see
yes,
more of them in certain phenotype in one area, and the other group will
yes,
be looking
yeah,
different in it. And they look more
yeah.
nilotic. They're tall, dark. The black people you see
That
among them are
Niger
very tall
Congo.
and dark skinned,
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
you will find the ones that also mix with
yes,
them, and
yes.
these people, because of their genetic and their ancestry, they feel that they're
Mm.
superior than the Africans because most of
Do,
them.
do you know what? Yeah, when I just moved to Bristol years ago, and when I just moved to this area in Bristol, years ago, there was guy from Sudan who I used to
Mm,
speak to. It's really dark, like really dark skinned guy. I
mm,
mean, it's so
mm,
dark. You can actually bump into him in the dark if you don't
mm,
look properly. And
mm.
I asked him, "Where are you from?" He said, "He's Arab." I'm like, "Are you for real?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm Arab." I'm freaking no, you're not
They've,
Arab.
they've been
I
brainwashed.
said, yeah. And I asked him, I said, what do you mean by you're Arab? He's like, oh, no, no. He said, I'm from Sudan. I'm like, yeah, just say you're from Sudan. Sudan is not Arab. Just like, no, we speak Arab, and stuff like that. Basically, you're trying to say our culture is Arab.
The level of brainwash that's gone there because they've been brought,
Mm.
for generations, been brought up to believe that
Yeah.
if they are anything other than African, then they're better off.
Mm.
So they're doing their utmost to shake off the Africanness about them. The
Right.
Arabs don't regard them as anything. So why are you going to associate yourself with people that don't see you even as a human being?
Yeah.
Isn't it sad? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
that is the fighting that's going on in Sudan also,
Yeah. Yeah.
northern Sudan,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yeah. And years later, look at what's going on in Sudan.
yeah,
So
yeah,
so it's just one of those. These brothers need to be. I don't know. It's so sad because our empires got destroyed. The things that we had to hold on to, got shattered. And, we need to be reminded of who our greater ancestors were, instead of having to cling on to some other people's culture and way of life. Or, I mean, I'm very religious tolerant, whatever is personal to you, whatever religion, as long as it works for you, you don't kill people or force people to be who you are. And I'm cool with that, as long as it kind of gives, I'm very progressive like that, but like,
I mean,
having to wipe out, wipe, yeah,
if you look at it historically, right, West
mm,
Africans,
mm,
we've been very progressive when it comes to religion. When Islam was the first major religion that started coming to us, apart from our own indigenous religions that we were sort of had.
mm,
Now you
mm.
have leaders that people, a leader that if you read a history of somebody like Sandiata Keita, who did a lot
Sundiata,
for
yeah,
the Malian part. At that
yeah.
time, Islam has come and it's settled with
Sundiata,
many.
yeah, I
Mhm.
think Sundiata wasn't a Muslim. The Mali Empire did not start as a Muslim empire.
No, the
It
Malian part
started
didn't
as
start.
an
Sandiata Keita accommodated, even though he was a great leader, but he realized that
yeah,
there were people that coming in, have converted into this new religion, which is Islam. I would say new, but they are converted into the
yeah.
religion, and as generations have been born into it. There were also other African traditionalists that also practiced, and he ruled in a way that made it accommodating to everybody. He did not
Mm,
even some people say he himself, he probably wasn't a Muslim, but he accommodated Islam.
mm. Yes,
He
yes.
probably wasn't, even if he
Mm,
was a Muslim, he wasn't practicing it
mm,
fully. He had also indigenous African belief that, traditions that
mm,
he believed in.
mm,
If you look at West Africa, traditionally, I mean, I take Ghana, for instance, here. Um,
mm,
I mean, I'll say that years ago, when there's migrations, wave of migration, and they came down, they were very suspicious of Islam. Believe me, many of the people,
mm,
tribes that live in Ghana, very, very suspicious of Islam because they felt that this religion that came in with a lot of fighting and displacement and so forth. And they were sort
mm,
of living their own enclaves and their own areas and doing their own thing. And later, when the Europeans came, and things got
mm,
out of hand and they were started battling the Europeans. Guess who came into ally with them? Our northern
mm,
brothers from places like Burkina, Mali, and even and a majority from northern Ghana. And that time, those groups
mm,
were predominantly Muslims. But they came in
mm,
and joined in with their fellow Africans who were not even into any religion, were into African tradition. In Akai, I'm talking about Akai history now. They came in, they
mm,
allied with them to help them fight the Europeans. Do you understand?
mm.
So this is how we lived up until recently, when people started
Wow.
being indoctrinated by other group of people who doesn't mean well for us, telling our people that, oh, even if you're Muslim, you're not a good Muslim because you're not doing A, B, C, D. Do you understand? And it's gotten into some people's head to the extent that they feel it's easy to pick up a weapon, attack your fellow African simply because somebody is telling you they are not good enough. And this is where we are. But traditionally, we have lived among ourselves pretty peacefully up until slave trading came, which also we did another group of thing that wasn't, I don't even want to talk about it. That's another,
Mm.
that's if
Yeah,
we
I know.
don't talk about enslaving of ourselves, we talk about it forever.
Mm.
But
To be
before
honest,
then,
yeah, I think our problem is two things. To be honest, is tribalism and foreign relations. It's our problem, and until we wake up to that, nothing is
I
going to
think
change.
tribalism is easing. People talk about, of course, everybody will defend whatever tribe that they feel that
Mm.
they also defend. But
Mm.
tribalism
Yeah,
is easing. It's easing in the sense that
it's
if
quite
you look at,
subtle.
there's a
It's
lot
quite
more intermarriages going on. I know a lot of
yeah,
West
yeah,
Africans that
yeah.
they're not from one particular tribe.
To
I'm
be
not
honest,
from
with
one
you,
particular tribe.
yeah, my mother is Madinka. Basically, what I'm trying to say, to be honest, the tribalism I'm talking about. Do you know what? We in the far west, like like Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, and all these places. I don't think there's that much of tribalism, to be honest with you.
No,
The
I agree with
tribalism,
you on that.
yeah, you we don't have it, and in fact, we don't have a lot of religious backlash. The only place you find religious problems is it's one concept. I don't want to go into other people country bashing, but I think our bigger problem is the big brother next door. And once they're not settled, the entire region is not settled, and that's the problem.
That's true.
Because their
That's
problem, their problem is always on the internet also, and people can pray into division. Like those in the Sahel, I can guarantee you, those in the Sahel right now, what they're facing is like a foreign inclusion. They're coming in for the minerals, but also they're facing racism. From both sides. The lighter skin is helping the lighter skin against the dark skin because they want something off the earth, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what they're facing. Basically, yeah. So those in West Africa where we are, like Ghana, Sierra Leone, I'll say in the Guinea Coast, you exclude Nigeria. We are very settled, people. We don't Ghana, for example, you don't ever hear Ghanaians online, insulting each other or based on tribes, or I never had that anyway. Or for
No,
example,
I mean
Senegal,
Ghana, for
Ivory Coast,
instance,
you know.
we
Mm.
the way that we operate is so we say, oh, this tribe people are, and it's like a battle joke. We have certain jokes, oh, this
Yeah,
tribe
like
people are this.
banter. We all
That,
got banter
yeah,
about other people.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
We
cool.
do,
That's normal. Mm,
we do that a lot, but it is very rare to
mm,
find Ghanaians that they're going to get at each other's throat because of
mm,
tribe or even religion.
mm,
I mean,
yeah.
where I grew up, it's like
Mm,
when there is any religious festival, there's Islam, we all rush into the Muslims' house to go and get some food to eat. And then when there's Christmas, they
yeah,
rush into our house, or even our parents will
yeah,
go around there giving presents to families that they want to give
yeah,
to, you know,
yeah.
parcel a little bit of food and and
Mm,
and give it to people. And we live like that.
mm,
We continue to live. I'm not saying that we are perfect. You'll find some idiots
mm,
among us that even Christians that all they need to hear, oh, their Muslim brothers are saying this, oh, and then they go around into their pulpit and start talking
rubbish.
rubbish. And they will
Yeah,
easily be shut down. And the people will shut them down easily. And
yeah.
because if you look at it, we are all same kind of people. It's just that we're different, we've been brought up in different homes with different religions. There isn't much
Mm,
difference in us. You
no.
know? So
Mm,
what is it that we are so Ghana religion doesn't play much of a role uh, in our sort of social psyche. Well, it doesn't play much of a difficult role.
no,
I mean,
no, no.
as I said, sometimes people complain about noise, which they complain about, especially early morning. You find the
When they pray,
Christians,
when they call him
yeah,
prayer in the morning.
that's
Yeah.
one. But the Christians also make a lot
Mm,
of noise early morning. They also will go into
yeah.
praise and worship in the morning with the instrument and the
Mm,
band about 5
yeah.
o'clock in
The
the
clock
morning.
tower. Yeah, like the clock tower. Like I mean, in Freetown we have clock towers. Where we live is not far from the clock tower, and it is every city in Sierra Leone, in fact, have a clock tower. So every hour it go bang, bang, bang. So it's like if it's
which
7 o'clock, you go
can
7 times.
which can irritate a lot of people. That and
Yeah,
you
but
find
we had it for centuries.
early
It's like
morning call.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. The British brought it there, and they still have it there. It's like it's just part of the culture, and it's funny because you know what, like when I come here, I argue with people about religion. It just make me cringe sometimes because being from Sierra Leone as a people, we never see religion as a barrier to any of our issues.
No, no.
For example,
I
throughout
know
Sierra,
a lot
yeah,
I know a lot of Sierra
yeah,
Leoneans that the
yeah.
woman is a Christian married to a Muslim man. And
Oh
I've
yeah,
seen vice versa. And they
I
live.
got family members who are Christians.
Yeah,
That's just
I have
normal.
family members who are
And
Muslims as well. Not many, but I have
yeah,
family
yeah,
members who are
mm,
Muslim. One
yeah,
of my
right, mm,
on my mother's side, two of
mm,
our grandparents, well, my mother's
yeah,
great, one is
mm,
a great, and they were Muslim men.
yeah. You see,
You know,
and for example, for example, Sierra Leone, yeah, since independence, we only had one Muslim president. One or two, I think two to the max.
hmm hmm
And um, Sierra Leone is about 70% Muslim and
yeah,
20% 30% Christian. I would say 25% because we have people who worship African religion also.
Yeah, we're also
Okay,
indigenous
and
African believer. Yeah.
yeah. A lot of people do, to be honest. Regardless of the religion, they do. They do practice that African religion on the side. But
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, we in Sierra Leone, for example, our last election, that happened. Both for the guy who stood for the election, they were both Christians. The current president now and Mafi Winston Kamara, he was a Christian also. And um the only Christian Muslim that we had, it was Tijan Kaba and another Baja Tijan C. These are the two Muslims throughout the country's existence since independence. But we never ever sit there and say, oh, he's a Christian, he's a Muslim, why
Yeah,
you
I
this,
mean,
why you that? And the Muslim people don't give a monkeys about that. They don't care. As long as he's a good president, he's ruling the country, he's actually building the infrastructure, he's providing people's needs. They don't care. And even when he's doing badly, they wouldn't say it's because of his religion. That's why he's doing bad. Because
they'll
this
say that
things
he's
that
just
when
incompetent at what he's doing.
yeah, that's it. Simple as that. We don't ever say because he's a Christian or
There's a lot
that's
of
the
that
reason why.
I mean, if you look at it from, say, I would say from Togo all the way heading towards Senegal, within that
Yeah.
area in
Mm.
West Africa, there's a lot of that because a lot
Mm.
of people don't care what religion
They
you are
don't.
really up until recently,
Yeah.
whereby
Yeah.
but Nigerians have his own dynamism and problems that's happening, and I don't, and I blame the leaders. I don't blame the people. I don't blame the
No.
people
Mm.
on the lower end. I blame the elite and the political leaders in that country. They're the one
No, of
causing the
course.
problem for the country.
Yeah.
They're the one doing
Yeah.
it. It's not the
They use
people.
the religion as a tool. Yeah.
They're using religion as it too, yes. And
Yeah.
if you leave them aside and you come to the other part of West Africa, we don't have this problem. Until
No.
I left West Africa, and when I was out of West Africa, that's when I started hearing, oh, he's a Muslim, he's a Christian. I said, so what are you talking about? I mean, some
Mm.
people, I have people that visit Ghana. And I remember one
Mm.
time we were taking a group, we were traveling from one city to the other
Mm.
on the road. And
Yeah.
every place you see, you're going along the road, they build mosques, they allow them to build mosques all along the road so that when the Muslims are traveling, they will be able to stop to have their prayer. One of them
Mm.
asked me, is Ghana a Muslim country? And I said, no, it's not that it's a Muslim country or no Christian country. This is what we do
Mm.
because it's a big road and
Yeah.
people, so every service station, there's a
Mm.
little a prayer place there.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Why let Abrahamic come and divide you? That's the question.
I don't know.
Why let the Abrahamic divide you?
That is
That's the
what I
question.
don't understand.
No. Because we've been
That
there
is why.
before the Abrahamics, right? We've been there before that. And we coexisted before that. We built empires before that. And, as I said, of course, we did use in West Africa when Islam came to where Mali is today, like the Ghana Empire, where Ghana Empire was, we did adapt it to Islam. Definitely, yes, we switched because, at that time, it benefited a lot in terms of cohesion. We can put tribes away, and say, okay, let's get together and intermarriage, and we learn how to, to read and write in a new ways, and document things, and there's good and bad, okay, in all of it, and it was fine. It was all good. There was coexistence until the betrayal kicks in. You know how these people think, right? These people in the north, and they start betraying the locals slowly, and then by the time you know it, it's like it's just start going down and down. To be honest with you, what made it worse for us in the Sahel is when you know um, Obama, destroyed Libya. That was just
Yeah,
it because the
yeah.
peace treaty they had in the Sahel, before this issue, it apparently is one of the longest peace treaty in the world. To say you don't touch us, we don't touch you. That was a peace treaty between the blacks and the Tuaregs in the north, and it works for so long, and apparently it was the longest in the world. So why would Obama come and destroy Libya? Why? That's a
Because
question I ask myself.
because
Why? Again, mineral resources.
they didn't want. I mean, Gaddafi has his problems at the beginning, but
Mm.
Gaddafi was also betrayed by African leaders. You know that? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, I know he was betrayed.
By
Yeah.
the AU.
African
Yeah,
Union
some
never
of the
stood for
African
him.
leaders there.
African Union just went silent. It's
He
like
was
they
betrayed by
think
them.
it's because it's Obama.
Mm.
Because they think it's
African
Obama is a
Union,
black man. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
the African Union doesn't have control of his own budget. African Union gets his budget from all over the place. European Union, maybe America, and I know for a fact that he get a huge chunk of their budget from the European Union and China, and maybe I don't know if they get that much from America, but they must get something. So African Union doesn't control now. So whoever controls your budget controls you. Similar to the ECOWAS as well. I know certain huge chunk of the ECOWAS budget comes from elsewhere. So whoever is putting in that amount of money to prop you up will control you, and that is why ECOWAS is a disgrace as it is, because the leaders, because they know they've got their hands full from elsewhere, they can't even speak up for their people anymore. What is the relevance of ECOWAS now? ECOWAS should be disbanding something new.
Yeah,
But
you're right. What's
they
his
don't have
name?
the
The
courage to do it.
Nigerian.
They don't.
Yeah, the current Nigerian president, he just dismantled ECOWAS, and I believe he was I believe he was advised to do so by some foreign entity. Okay, and he
Yeah,
dismantled it.
obviously,
It's obvious.
that is
Obviously he did.
pretty
Pretty
evidential.
obvious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many evidence out there to show that the big brothers of the world. I don't want to go into details. Because they did said that he's an asset to the FBI, didn't he? To the CIA. He's an asset to
That guy. A lot have been said about him, and I'm looking at what is
he's an
happening
asset.
now. I'm believing a
Yeah,
lot that I've heard
for
is
the
said
fact.
about him.
Yeah, it's true. So he basically dismantled it for them, and I was saying to someone, do you know what shocks me, right? Like, I don't want to sound, because if I say this, people might think, oh, you've been tribal bad because come from your tribe. But in all fairness, when Buhari was the head of ECOWAS, some of this could happen. He never tried to invade any of them. He was in power. No, Mbalo,
Buhari's he's a military man, and also he's been involved in a coup, hasn't he? He was involved in one of the coups that happened in Nigeria.
Yeah, exactly. He was a coupist. He was coupist, and he the one that stopped the Tuareg invasion in what you call where is Idris Debit that got killed? Chad.
Chad,
He's the one that fought out. Yeah, he's the one that fought the Tuaregs out of the way in that war. And yeah, so he was a military leader. He was a general during that war, and that's when he had his PTSD. And because of that, he shouldn't have been a president, because when you're suffering from those things, you're not normal. So his wife said it actually on the interview that he had PTSD during the Chadic War, because it was the bloodiest war we had in West Africa. But move forward, when he was leader, the Niger Republic, right? Yeah. So when he was a leader, he used to give Nigeria used to support Niger Republic to fight these jihadists. He used to give them vehicles.
Yeah.
He used to help them out, and he supported them. And this is what other countries should have been doing, because whether we like or not, Nigeria has always been the big brother of West Africa when it comes to those things. And they helped Liberia finish, their war. They helped Sierra Leone finish their war.
Which, I mean, you have to commend them for that. They did very well.
Yeah, you can see why. It's not. There was a report I was reading years ago that, in fact, the West wasn't happy about ECOMOG, finishing those two wars in Liberia and Sierra Leone, because they feel like they're not needed when it comes to African intervention. Does that make sense? Because it's like, okay, there's someone that's taking in our place, in that region. So they did not like it. So they wanted. Yes, sir.
Yeah, finish what you're saying.
Yeah, so they wanted ECOMOG, the ECOWAS military faction, to be dismantled, and you can see how it was done by Tinubu. He did it
Yeah,
straight away
and,
as soon as he got in. Yeah,
what they only wanted to reconstitute something when Niger had their coup. For there's always been
exactly.
external forces that don't want our region to be peaceful because of what they are
Yeah,
getting. If
yeah.
we stay in a perpetual state of war, which is currently happening, because the Sahel, everybody's talking about the Sahel, but there's problem within all the other states in West Africa. It's just in the
Mm,
proportion is greater in the Sahel. We have
yes,
a little bit of, like Ghana, for instance, we have two groups of people. They are basically cousins, in terms of
yes,
ethnic wise, they are cousins.
yes.
It's
Mm.
like two brothers that founded this group of tribes, and they have been
We're in
constantly
Ghana.
fighting in Ghana. Yeah, then up right on top of our border with
Okay,
Burkina.
okay.
And now and
That's a
again it will
shame.
flare up, and it started with chieftaincy dispute. These people believe, well, they should be the chief, because what actually happened was they're cousins, right?
Mm, okay,
They live in different areas. They speak same language, same culture, everything. Predominantly they are Muslim, but there's Christians among them, but they live there. Now there was a war, there was a conflict, and one of the cousins invited the other cousins to come and help them fight the war. And they came, this is
right.
years ago, this is centuries ago, I'm talking about, not recent. And they
Okay,
came and supported their cousins to fight the oppressors, which is another group of tribe within the same region. Anyway, this is the northern
right.
Ghana. And they won.
Okay,
And the agreement they made was they would give them a place to settle, right? So
right.
they gave them a piece of place to settle. And the cousins that came and helped them fight the battle, and they won, and they settled there, and they lived there. And they feel that they're entitled to own the place and set up their own little chieftaincy
Plan.
there. And the other
Okay,
cousins are now telling them, no, we just asked you to live there. You cannot set up a chieftaincy there. And that
right.
is the basis of the conflict. Now, if you look at the whole of West Africa, there's a little
Mm,
conflict like that between,
mm,
it does happen in
yeah,
many parts
but
of
it's
the world, right?
yes, yes,
It
yes. You're
only
right. You're
becomes
right. Mm,
dangerous when you have
yeah,
external forces coming in
coming
with
in.
their own
Mm,
motives and their reasons. And that's exactly what is happening in the Sahel now.
mm.
They're
Yes, I
using
totally agree with that. Mm.
they're using
Because
a certain ethnic
mm,
groups to
yeah,
fight,
yeah. Because
and
yeah, you see, my sister, I work in the precision engineering sector in the UK, and we supply a lot of engineering companies, different things, and we work with different range, and I can guarantee the French are not happy with the Sahel because in the UK most of our energy here is supplied by the French. Okay, um, yeah, the EDF is a French company. You can keep going. There's loads of them. So most of the nuclear plants that supply electricity in Europe are owned by French companies. And
mhm,
the uranium is what is used to power this nuclear um, those nuclear reactors. So the reality is the French, and also if you look at outside the Sahel, for them you have to go to the Russians to get this uranium. So
mhm,
it is a problem. It is a problem because one of the colleges we work with, they tend to have a lot of apprentices in that college that actually end up working in the nuclear sites because they're building
mhm,
two at the moment.
mhm,
So when the coup in Niger happened, I one of the guys in there actually approached me about it. I was actually shocked. So you can see how it affects their chain. This is like is affecting them. And the French, I remember the French were saying, "Oh, we got enough stockpile. We're not
no,
panicking."
they don't.
Basically, no, but they don't.
Mhm.
They don't. So
You
it is
know,
a problem. They need that uranium, 100%.
and I wouldn't
By
I
all
wouldn't
means.
say it is that alone. I was gonna talk about this, but it slipped my mind.
Mm,
I listened to a
okay.
professor. He's African, but teaches in Europe. I listened to him
Okay.
one time, and he said
Yeah.
what the guy said, years ago he said this, and
Yeah.
he even at one interview said that when he goes to West Africa, even though he was
Yeah.
giving a cautionary tale to West African leaders, he said when he goes to West Africa, he feels very uncomfortable because he get tailed. He get tailed
Right.
because yes, because he's on the radar of certain people, and he's been told by they've told this government to tail him. Anyway, all he did was he did a research, and he found out that that's when all this new technology thing was coming up and stuff, and he found out that
Hey,
in
let
Europe,
me read this super chat. Peace Age Rise 1559. Thank you for $10 holla. They do not practice Islam or Christianity. White supremacy is the religion. They practice white supremacy. They have used Christianity and Islam as a Trojan horse to divide and conquer us.
Woo.
Button. Boom. Good super
now
chat.
I was going to say
Mm.
that finish what I'm just saying, that these people,
Yeah.
this guy is an African guy, right? He's a professor. He did a research and he found out that Europe, all this new technology, the mineral resources they need, they have about 15%. Africa
Wow.
has about 15% only in Europe, the whole of Europe. If you take out Russia has quite a bit. Most of it is even
Guys,
in
let me pass the mic now. We have two new people on the panel. Bang, go ahead.
Yeah, man, how's
I would
everybody,
have loved to
man?
finish
Can you
what
guys
I'm
hear me?
saying, Danis, but let
Okay,
Ban
go ahead.
speak and then
Go ahead, finish. No,
let Ban speak.
go ahead. No, go ahead, finish. No problem. No
Okay.
problem. Go ahead, finish. Yeah. I'll
What
wait.
I was
No
gonna
problem.
say is I'm just giving this thing that I listened from this professor. I don't want to mention his name or anything like that. And he said that Europe holds about 15%. Africa holds about well over 40%. And in certain minerals, Africa holds about well over 70%. This new technology, I'm not very technically minded on that, so I can't tell you what, to build these new technologies and this AI and all that stuff that's coming on. Africa holds quite a huge, greater in percentages on the land of Africa. And West Africa holds quite a huge chunk of this, all the way from the Sahel coming down to the coast. Anyway, so when some of the students were questioning him, and he said he believed that the current African leaders are not strong enough to make good use of this, and these people are just taking our resources away. And this is what the Sahelians are trying to do, and then all this battle that is ensuing over there. Okay, so the students were asking, one student said, well, if the Africans are not doing it, they should stop sending their minerals, and then they should force their government to cease all this. And the professor said, if Africa tries to do that, that is when they're going to bring the bigger battle to us. This is years ago. I heard the guy said that, and look what is happening now. So you can pass the mic.
Okay. Man, I'm not going to talk for too long at all. Because with the topic, the headline of the and stuff like that. But overall, are you okay? I think the Ghanaian, something like that. Oh, anyway, when it comes to this resource, right? Honestly speaking, I am tired of hearing like resource, right? I want us to do something about it. Because to me, right, like when somebody get in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, and some people in their 40s, you can't change them no more. Their mindset is already, that's just who they are. So these African leaders, men and women as well, that's in the 50s, 60s, and 40s and 70s, in some ways, you can't change them no more. So it's just that we just need to move on away from these people and have new energy, new people that wants to develop Africa in a way that we could be proud of being African. That's my take on it, Edgar, because I'm tired of hearing resource. Because if you have a leader that's not about, okay, how can we mass produce this resource right here, I'm not going to take you serious at all. If you're going to say you're going to mass produce it, but then you're going to privatize it to some foreigner, I don't have respect for you. If you're going to work with some foreigner, make sure the state owns good amount of percent in it as well, and then make sure the technology could be transferred to your people eventually. That's the only way I would have respect for any African leader. Any African leader. But because I know for sure some other countries, they're gonna try to bring some type of, we bring in development, they're gonna have a factory and all these things, but at the end of the day, they're gonna control everything in and out as well. That'll be my biggest fear, because Africans are too quick to persuade. I don't know why. We think very, very small of ourselves. I don't understand it. But then the same African could pray 5 times a day, go to church on Sundays, and then tell you, God is gonna fix everything. That's what I don't understand. If it's a man-made, it could be achieved. I do not care. If it's a man-made, it could be achieved. But I heard Mali is in Kadao. Doty landed in Kadao. They pushing away these people, man. Oh my God. Thank you, man. Oh, AES, man. Our savior in Africa, man. I don't care. Our savior is those 3 countries. You see, y'all saw what they did with the what you call it? With the choppers. Burkina Faso came, Niger came too. Man, man, my God, man. Y'all seen that, man?
No,
3
I didn't see it.
countries.
Wow.
Man, 3 countries came and
No.
swamped on them on different directions, man.
Oh, that's good, man.
This is what ECOWAS was
Yeah, I
meant
need
to
to see
be.
that.
This is exactly
Yeah.
what ECOWAS was meant to be. ECOWAS was supposed to be economy, to make sure we import our rice, man. We import our rice. We import our cocoa. When can we stop learning this, man?
Mm.
When we have so many people, like sometimes, right? We have footballers. Since we live in America, and then this American channel, soccer, right? These men worth a lot of $1 million. You telling me they can't open up a chocolate factory in Ghana?
Ooh.
Ghana had a bunch of million players that worth $1 million, but they can't invest. They just said $3 million or $4 million. That's what I don't understand, though. But instead, our leaders wants to build a cathedral. I'm not taking shots on religion, but to me, if I was worth that amount of money and I know we import our raw cocoa, I'm not gonna build a box. I'm sorry.
Less mosques, less churches, more
I'm sorry.
factories.
I will build a chocolate factory. It only takes probably like a couple $1 million. You're gonna build enough chocolate factory where at least, because the cocoa is already right in your country. Who gives a hell if the federal government wants to stop you? But once you build that factory right there, the Ghanaians, the regular citizens, they're gonna fight for you. They're gonna block those corrupt leaders. No, they're gonna bring the cocoa right to you, because it is your country. But please, man, I'm tired of hearing this resource thing, man. When can we take action? That's what I gotta say, man. But shout out to the AES, man. I knew the AES was something special, man. Three and a half years ago, I have evidence, man.
But,
3.5 years ago, I started supporting
you
AES.
see, but sometimes it's the
evidence.
market. The Africans that shut out the market. They need to create their own market. That's what they need to do.
But
You can have a
Right.
chocolate factory. If you
Yeah,
don't have
they
it,
can
if you don't have
with
a
the
trade
things that
deal,
they use.
Just 30 seconds.
Yes.
Just 30 seconds. If you build a chocolate factory in Ghana, the market is already there. You just gotta build it. That's the problem. The
if you don't have a
there.
trade deal, if you don't have a trade deal with some country,
If you're a farmer in Ghana, right? I do not care if the government tells you, the government, we can only sell the cocoa to the government. No. As long as you build that chocolate factory right there, Ghanaians will fight for you. I'm telling you.
No, I understand what you mean. You're making some good point, but all I'm trying to say to add it up.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I'm just adding up.
My bad. Go ahead and speak.
Yeah, that's all right. Some countries, you need to have a trade deal with them to export to their country, and it's more into it because it depends on the market also, right? You can create chocolate that's more suitable for the continent instead of the one that you're exporting. But you're right, because Ivory Coast actually have a trade deal with the UK. You can actually manufacture a chocolate factory in Ivory Coast and export it to the UK, if I'm not mistaken. We have a trade deal with them when it comes to certain things.
But at what stage? Well, at what stage is the chocolate? Is it in You know, is it a really refined finished product, or
Yeah, the
is it
finished for
just
as
yeah?
long as you can prove to them that you pass the there's like a hygiene stuff and the health and safety and all that. As long as you can prove to them that you got all these things in place,
Because
then they
they
will let you.
melted down. They melted down
Yeah,
into
as,
Let me
new
just
yeah.
say
speaker,
something very quickly
new
regarding
speaker,
the
y'all.
chocolate.
Come on, new speaker. Okay.
Okay.
So I liked what you're saying, Bang, and I was listening to you guys about what you're saying. For me, I think that we need to definitely recognize this move by these mixed folks, mixed Africans, the Temeshek and the Tuareg, and understand it clearly that whether we do nothing or we do something, we're on the defense or the offense. That the northern part of Africa is going to be a challenge to Black Africa, as we can see. They are there already. The history of them being there, right? It was African people that were there before, and they moved us out of there and moved into Spain. And so, if we ever become one country, which I think we can be, that it needs to include that part of Africa. And the people there, they can choose to stay or go. They have to treat the Black people fairly, and that's pretty much it. And they're gonna have a problem with that. So, but that's one thing. The other thing I just wanted to say was, as far as intellectual trust, that we develop our intellectual trust in think tanks, and that we advance our way of science based on where we left off. And that's something I think I really hold on to because of where the my experience, what education I went through, listening to professors talking about the Dogon and melanin research and all of these different things, that we were doing these types of things back in the day, and it's like we've lost that because we don't know, we don't remember our history, we don't remember. And so I'm saying that those types of sciences, we can create something that's going to be different than what they have, because we have something they don't have. They're just starting to get it through quantum physics. They're just now starting to enter into that realm, because they could only go so far with classical physics. But now with quantum physics, they're beginning to enter our realm. We just don't recognize what we have because we have been introduced to these Abrahamic religions, and we've relegated our mythology as something that's like Abrahamic religions. And really, it is the science that our ancestors left. We just have to read through the mythological part of it and get in it, because once you get in it, then you begin to see the more of what it really is. So yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say. And also Africa, you're gonna have to explain how I'm two-faced. So you that's when you get the chance, and I want to hear that part. Or was that the alcohol speaking
I was.
last night?
Please forgive me. I had too much to drink, man. Well, yeah. So yeah, there is a trade deal between the UK and Ivory Coast since 2020, October the 15th, 2020, after the UK left the EU. So there is a trade deal. You can actually export your cocos and your stuff to the UK. Yeah. So yeah, sure. Sorry, man. My bad.
No problem. We got new
Yeah. Thank you.
speakers. Your turn.
DMV Pat, go ahead, DMV Pat.
Yeah. What's going on? I
We're
remember,
good. We're good.
yeah, I remember that there were people on here. They said that the Russians ran away. Where are those people at?
No, I'm right here. Now they evacuated from one city, but they didn't completely run away from the war. But yeah, I gotta eat my words some. The Russians are actually doing some work. I gotta eat my words. They're actually doing some work. So I gotta give them credit.
What I want to ask is, why did you doubt them when this isn't the first time that they, stop something major from happening? Because this same thing happened in Burkina Faso when they tried to take out Traore. And then it happened again in Niger.
The reason why I doubt them is because still there's certain, like that northern part of Mali, north of Ségou, is still a mess.
I mean, I don't know about what's going on over there, but you got to keep the the battle away from the capital city, though. If they take Bamako down, that's gonna look bad. Just like everybody thought, oh yeah, they're gone. They got taken out. They thought Mali was done. That was
Yeah, we lost you, bro. Okay, go ahead, CD.
Hey, Danny.
Hey.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, hey, Cos.
So,
Hey.
yeah, man. So, for me, up to this time, I don't really trust the Russians. I think Malians are, Brazilians in the Burkinabe. So every fight they fighting right now, I don't think if Russia is really contributing. This guy that you just showed, this guy is some arm dealer. He been causing a lot of trouble in Africa, specifically West Africa. He was one of the arm dealers to Charles Taylor. So that's why he was arrested and he was in prison in the US. This guy is a criminal. That's why America had him here in prison. But the reason why he was free is because of this lady that was caught with drugs in Russia. So they have to exchange for prisoner. That's how he got free. So, this is the type of person that right now talking about Africa. So I doubt it if Russians are really contributing. I mean, all they did was to escort the gas tankers, right? So it's not like they were getting rid of the rebels, or the terrorists. So they just, give a safe passage to these gas tankers to arrive in Bamako. So that's how they're going to operate. So that means the country is not safe. So if we can come together and fight and find other means, I think Russians, they are in Central Africa. We going through the same situation with them. So I'm yet to see a success story of the Russians. Um, but yeah, what Africa say? Yeah, Africa's they produce. I mean, they manufacture 50% of their cocoa right now to be a chocolate, so they export it to Europe. Not only in Britain, they will also send it to Belgium.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they
good, man.
do. Yeah, they have a huge factory. The factory was open in I think beginning of 2024 when I was there. So
Uh-huh.
they have exhibition for it. So most of the time when the people showing the production of whatever they produce in Africa will always show things that they manufacture in Abidjan. So
Yeah,
yeah,
something I got to
definitely.
look into because I'm really interested in that. I've been
Yeah.
thinking about it for long.
And
Yeah.
it's not owned by Lebanese, it's not owned by any, it's owned by the Ivorians.
Oh
50% for
wow.
the
Wow.
government. Yeah. So they do that. But I was shocked to see Ghanaian farmers are struggling right now because the farmers produce a lot of rice and now they stuck with the rice, nobody to buy the rice from them. So the reason
Where?
for
Which
that
country?
is in Ghana.
Wow.
Yeah. So the
We need
reason for
rice in
that
Sierra
is
Leone. Export it to Sierra Leone. Who buy it?
no. The reason for that is the price of rice in local rice in Ghana is the same price for the rice that they import to Ghana. So they have this
Uh,
colonial mentality that rice from the West is far better than the local rice. So all the government need to do is to tax more on the imported rice, but they're not doing that. So the farmers are struggling right now. I was really shocked to see that. And in the same way we try to
Let me.
people
Yeah,
not
but city.
producing stuff. So
okay.
I was
City,
really,
city,
really
city. Let's be
disappointed.
honest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
city. Let's be honest with ourselves. The government collaborate with foreign companies to make sure their product stays in the market. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's not because of the government prioritizes agriculture in any country, wonderful things come out of it. Because this Ghanaian rice that you did mention, right? Man, somebody did a documentary about it. This strategy has been going on for years, man. Ghanaians, correct me, Ghanaians, right? They call foreign rice perfume rice. You know perfume, right? Because perfume smells good, it makes you feel good. So foreign rice, they call it perfume rice. Imagine that.
Yeah, but that's what I was just saying.
They have a way. They have a way of calling the local rice something else, which is something not pleasant. But to me,
that's what I'm telling you. That's the colonial mentality. Like for example, country like Guinea.
That's an African problem, not just Ghana.
People prefer local rice. Let me finish. People prefer local rice in certain countries, right? If they're producing rice, Ivorians prefer local rice. Same as Guinea. But Ghana, what's going on right now? It's a 600 CD for local rice, 600 CD for Western rice. So all the government need to do is to increase the import in tariff on all the rice that is coming in the country.
Right.
So that would discourage people
sense.
from getting imported goods. But because of corruption, it's not regulated. So now people who importing the rice are the Lebanese and some foreigners. So when they come with the rice, they bribe the government and they keep the price lower, and that discourages the ordinary Ghanaians from
That's not good.
farming.
That's
the whole issue.
It's not good for the locals.
It's
not good for the local farmers.
When there's a competition in the market,
City.
If you want your local goods to be
City.
sold, you have to increase tariff on every good that is coming in. That people pay more taxes on the goods that is coming in as an import, and that way your goods will be more marketable. That's the same mentality Trump is applying here. It's the same idea. It's very simple, but because of corruption, it's not happening.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Let me pass the mic to Cosmic. Let me pass the mic to Cosmic Chaos. Then we got to close out. Go ahead, Cosmic.
Hey, what's up, Dynast? How you doing?
Peace, man.
Hey, peace to the panel. So, I am tired of all this intellectualization. And I want to extend this reply to the brother who was talking about if Ghana builds, a chocolate factory, the people will come to them. And as a Pan-Africanist, what I've been saying is that when are we going to become venture capitalists of our own growth? Somebody mentioned the Lebanese. Why can't we Pan-Africanists be the Lebanese? You know why? Because we can intellectualize all we want, but we do not trust ourselves. Our money is too scared. And they say scared money don't make no money. So until we real Pan-Africanists, the ones out of us who are entrepreneurs, the one out of us who are real capitalists, right? So that we can be socialists, right? We need to start finding ways to put our money together and start seeking to buy mines, to create chocolate factories, to create all kind of things so that we can feed ourselves in the diaspora. I live in Los Angeles, and to get anything African, I have to go to the Korean, or I have to go to Fashion District to the Mexicans. So we just keep intellectualizing. To intellectualize means to gather information and to find certainty. But intellectualization does not move anything. Action does. Putting your money where your mouth is does. Brotherhood. Creating a financial club for Pan-Africanists, the rich among us, to come together, put money together, go into Africa and invest in an industry, a factory, whatnot. Because guess what? Why is the Lebanese in Africa? It's because they see the opportunity that we, the Pan-Africanists, who are a little bit well-to-do, who are a little bit more exposed, who have the same thing that these Lebanese have. Because what was Lebanon? They're getting blown up right now. The Indians are able to come into Nigeria and make billions of dollars in less than 5 years. The Pakistanis is able to come into Nigeria and make 10 billion naira in less than 3, 4, 5 years. The Lebanese are there. So when are we? Because guess what? Many are called, few are chosen. It's not all Pan-Africanists who are going to be able to do this. Every one of us is going to serve a role. Those of us who got the money, who got the know-how, who know how to do this, who are entrepreneur, we need to stop intellectualizing because we know what to do. Everything has been intellectualized for us already. That was the job of the past Pan-Africanist people. You know, the boy, you can mention their name. That was their job, to intellectualize what the global African family is supposed to do.
Don't be so
But
hard
now,
on it, bro. They
no,
set the
no,
stage. They
no, no,
met.
no, no, no.
They
That's
were
what I'm
meeting.
saying. No,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, that was their job, to set the platform on which we're going to build on. So the job of we now present day Pan-Africanists is to start building, is to take that blueprint and start building. It's not intellectualizing. It's how can we in this panel through diners build a factory in Ghana? How can we buy land and build real estate and we be the one to effectuate our own tourist attraction?
What
And
about
create
the Ethiopian model, where they just floated a bond and everybody bought into the bond, the people bought into the bond and raised $1 billion and built their dam? That's a strategy.
Okay, let me speak to that, right? Again, it doesn't matter what method we use as long as we come together and choose a method. That is the problem. There are many methods we can use, but if we don't come together and we're just intellectualizing without action, how are we going to come together to choose the method to which to drive ourselves forward? So again, I agree with the Ethiopian. Let's come together, or let's create a trust bank account whereby about 10, 20 people are trustees. And we have a head trustee, so nobody can take our money without the signature of the other trustees. There are
I'm
a few
sorry.
ways we can do this.
I got a phone
So,
call, but I was saying that we could use the Ethiopian model, where they floated a bond and the people put their little twos and fews in there and raised $1 billion and built a dam. And whereas the rich folks don't have to come and save the day. Everybody can participate in saving the day.
my reply to
Yeah, a lot
that.
of people practice group economics, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got to hold on. We got to practice. We got to find a way to come together and practice group economics. How can we trust each other? That's the point right now. We don't trust each other as black men, because guess what? We don't consequences. We don't know how to put down the consequences that is needed for us to gel together. So that is the biggest issue we must tackle right now. What is the roadblock to group economics in the Pan-African world? What is the block? How do we solve this problem of unity and
Psychological.
trust?
This is
So
where
how?
Amos Wilson
Okay,
and Wade Nobles comes in. These are
right.
black psychologists that study us and say
Mm-hmm.
this is part of our problem, that why we don't trust each other. But African Diaspora Development Institute, ADDI, is an organization that exists right now, and they took a group of African American. Well, it was all kind of not just African Americans to
Let me say
Burkina
this.
Faso.
Let me say this, right? Let me say this, right? I brought up the chocolate thing, right? When I brought it up and I say everything, right? If I'm not mistaken, African says, "Oh, we have to like, the very first thing somebody said. I'm not sure who said because I was in and out, right? They said, hygiene and stuff like this. All of a sudden, they started breaking laws and all that. And how can we connect and do this to and send it to Europeans and stuff like that? The market is already there in rain season, right? In rain season, it gets super cold in Africa. A lot of people don't realize this thing, right? People need
Yes,
hot
it does.
chocolate.
Time.
People need hot chocolate. The market is there. The market. People need hot chocolate. You don't have to make it into candy bar. You can just crush it and turn it into a powder. That's hot chocolate. That's chocolate.
What
right
about
there.
the diaspora
Dry
market?
fruit.
What about the diaspora market too? It's so big.
Yeah,
No.
that too.
F
No,
that.
it's both. I'm saying both. No, I'm saying both.
No. You see, you guys, man. After.
Are you saying we can export Ghanaian
That's not
chocolates to America, and so we can buy? So we can buy it?
No, let me tell you guys why.
Why?
You see,
Why?
as long as you guys quickly wants to send it to foreign country. Oh,
No, to us in the diaspora, we the
I don't care about
Pan-African.
diaspora in America. No, I don't care. I care about the people in Africa.
They're enjoying it too.
That's your first market, right?
That's your first market. The second market is going to be
Africa. The second
diaspora.
market is everywhere somebody want to buy chocolate.
What are you
That's your
talking
second
about?
market.
Yeah,
Everywhere somebody want to buy chocolate. You're in business. You're a capitalist. You're trying to make money.
No, you guys are missing the whole point. You guys are missing the
Okay,
whole
go
point.
on.
Look how quickly you guys want to jump. Oh, what about the diaspora? What about the diaspora? It's something we haven't even done yet. Even build the factory first. We haven't even go through the process first. We
I
haven't
mean,
even
yeah.
go through capacity. But all of a sudden, what about the diaspora? I don't go out. To me, I do not care about Africa diaspora. I do not care because you know why? Because you know why? If we fix the continent, then the diaspora is 10 times easy. 10 times easy.
I mean, eventually, no, we're not saying that we're going to do that immediately. We're just saying after we've already done with the first part, which is Africa, and everything is already succeeding, then we move down here. We're not just saying that, we're just going to be moving immediately. No, Africa is the solid root, is where every foundation must be built. The
I think
factories
you're
and
all making,
everything.
in all fairness, you're all making valid points. Let's not waste our time on this.
Yeah. Let's make the point. You make the point, and then we move on.
You both made a
Because
good point. Yeah.
you got
I'm the one that
production.
mentioned about it. Yeah, I'm the one that mentioned about the height in Sorisha, and that's because of European standard. You have to meet their standard. But yeah, you both making a good point. Sometimes
We don't even have to sell to them. We don't even have to sell to Europe. Sorry. We don't have to sell to Europe. If you want to sell to Europe, we should sell to them 4 times the price. Since they're consumers,
They sell it to us for.
Since they're consumers, they produce nothing. They produce nothing. They add nothing to nothing. So what? You want to have chocolate? Say, will you pay 4, 5, 10 times the price? We don't give a fuck.
Right. No, I mean, group economics. One of the last people in the world that practice this. I don't know why. It's crazy.
Ethiopia already showed us the way.
Did it, and the Burkina
Ethiopia already
Faso
showed us
did
the
it.
way.
The Burkina Faso did it.
Just 10 seconds. Just 30 seconds, right? When I studied cocoa, right? When I studied the cocoa, right? The way they go about it, right? You got it in a tree, you cut it, you dry it. You understand me, right? And then after that, you put it in the bag, right? I'm like, the Ghanaians have already done all the hard work. They've already done all the hard work. It just needs to be crushed.
There's more to it. There are different recipes in making it.
I just read someone in the chat saying Ghana is already doing it. Anyway,
I heard that they have a small one. Yeah, they got something going on.
That's like.
But you have different kinds of chocolate. Blah blah blah. The point is that when you have a production, when you're producing something and you're trying to make money too, then you're going to produce for the people, for the demand. And if you have demand in Africa, you meet that demand first, and then you send it to the next place where if that's your goal.
Demand and supply. Demand and supply. We first place, of course, we're gonna get high of our own supply first. Right, because there is so many advantages, so many things you can create with cocoa. So many things.
You know what's interesting though, you guys? You don't just produce. You see what had to happen with the oil? The war had to happen with the oil for other African countries to get
what I was saying is that
Dangote.
This guy is talking about making a chocolate factory.
It took a war. Wait, I'm making a point though. It took a war to happen for other African countries to start buying petroleum from Nigeria. It took the war. Now that this war, once the war is over, they actually now they're talking about building a whole refinery over in East Africa.
East Africa, yes.
Yeah, and it took a war to do that. I'm saying that.
And Dangote is
look at the psychology of that.
Yeah, but the way this guy is saying that we should build chocolate factory. First of all, you can't just build a factory like that. The most important in any business when you starting, you have to find market for it before you start building. Right?
We already have the market.
No, you don't. We don't have market. Let me tell you what happened.
Yes, we do. Nigeria is enough.
Let me tell you the example.
Hear this excuse. Hear this man excuses.
Nigeria is already enough.
Let me give you the example. Let me give you the example. It's a simple example right now. What is going on? What is going on?
Let me make an excuse. Let me make his point.
Let me make my point. The same thing that right now was saying, Ghanaian, they can't able to feed themselves. Right now, they have rice. Nobody is to buy it, right? So what happened in Ivory Coast, they've been working on this for over 15 years to build chocolate factory. It has to meet certain standard, Western standard, and who buy chocolate? If
we
you want
don't
to make
give a
money out of
fuck about
chocolate,
the
it's the Western that buy it from you.
No, but
we are Pan-Africanists. We don't care. We don't care about the Western market.
You don't know about business.
We set about no. We create our own demand and sales. That's all. See, the
Oh,
problem with the
okay.
rice is not
You
that
have no
nobody's.
idea.
Hold on,
First
let
of
me say
all,
one thing, and I'll give it back to you.
you can't
The
get
problem with the
manufacture
rice.
without no
I'm a
market.
Pan
Hold
Africanist,
on. The
not.
You have to
problem
get
with
a
the
market
rice.
first.
No, it's called
Please say.
marketing. It's called marketing, right? The problem is not that nobody wants to buy the rice. The problem is that nobody knows how to sell the rice.
No, but you can't
You know what I'm
just.
saying?
First
You
of
want to
all,
market to Africans like Europeans. That's the problem. You want to
right.
market to Africans like Europeans.
No,
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 you
no,
market
no,
to
no. You're
Africans
not
like
understanding me.
Africans.
You're not understanding me.
Okay.
First of all, if you the reason why people always say raw material is because they do not have market to sell the end product, right? And most of the time, if you want to make a lot of money in your end product, you got to export. If domestic market, yeah, you will have domestic market, but you want to make more money, you export. That's why make America more
Excuse
powerful.
me.
Okay,
Europe needs
I'm
us
done,
more
man.
than we need
Okay,
it.
good night, man. So
Yeah,
sorry.
Europe
yeah.
needs
Good
us
night.
more than we need it.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night, man.
Yeah,
You
take care,
like
man.
those. You like those old
Let,
Africans,
let's see
man.
to make his point.
You like those old
No, but
Africans, man. They want to say
no,
Africa
no,
never
bang,
behind
bang,
for another
bang.
30
Let
years.
bang,
No.
bang.
I'm tired of
He's
old
making a
Africans,
point.
man. No.
He's not
He's
making
Bang,
no
not.
no, no.
point.
He's not making a point. He's not
There's
making
no
a point.
point.
I'm tired of old Africans, man. I'm tired of old Africans. He's one of those. He's exactly those
Well,
people. He's exactly those people, man. Just say the truth, man. The truth is the truth. How can this man come
no,
up
it's
here and
not.
try to tell us that?
It's not.
Okay,
Oh, we
so
don't have a chocolate
our
market.
American driving
Oh,
their
we
own
don't have a
cars.
chocolate market. Oh, the white man.
It,
The white man. What the fuck is that?
We
no,
create
you
our own
see,
market.
listen,
It's
You
just a
bang,
create it.
market. It's a
Those
market
people, man.
where you
It's
can
a
bang.
make
fucking
money.
chocolate.
You
It's a
know,
It's
fucking
a
chocolate.
market.
Right now,
yeah.
He's talking about the
It's
right?
market.
just
He's
a
talking about
market.
the market. You
We
cannot.
don't
And
have to sell to that market if that's the smart thing to
Exactly.
do. If
We
that
don't
is
have to
the
sell to
smart thing
Europe
to
because they
do,
need us more
we
than
don't
we
have
need
to
them.
sell to nobody but our cousins if that's what we want to do. But does that
Exactly.
make
That's why we
why?
must
sense?
come together.
But does that make sense? No, it don't make
That's why they
sense.
divide us. That's why they divide us. So that things like that cannot happen. We can't say, okay, fuck Europe, I'm gonna sell to Black America. Fuck Europe, I'm gonna sell to Jamaica.
The only reason you want to sell it to Europe is because of the currency is valuable, right? Okay. So that if you create a market within your continent, eventually money recycle back to you. So your money is
Where,
gonna be more
bang.
valuable later on.
As we
You
speak,
could convert these money to other people
do you
to
know
make
where chocolate is?
businesses. Come on,
How
man.
many
What?
percentage?
That's the
Okay,
Bang.
problem.
And what is
what
the
does
percentage of
Europe have to
Africans eating
leverage?
chocolate? Bang.
This
Two
man, come
things
on,
can
man.
happen at the
What
same
does
time, can't
no,
they?
not in this not in this
Yeah.
instance. Not in this instance. Not in this
Africa
instance.
come first. Africa come first.
And the diaspora comes
Any black
second.
person that does not put Africa first, don't never trust that person. I don't care. Any black person that do not put Africa first, never trust that
But
black person.
Africa being first might mean that we would make money on these Europeans with our chocolate and take that money to build. But listen to what I'm saying.
No.
It might be
You
more
take your
smarter for
chocolate
us to
to
make
Europe.
the money to then
You make
now
your chocolate in
use that to
America and
build
you're gonna
more
sell it to them.
factories or whatever. Because it's an
So
existing
you
market.
no.
But
You gonna
wait
make
a minute.
your chocolate in America
Hold on.
and sell
You're,
it to
do
France.
do you hear
You
what
do
I'm
that.
saying though?
You do
Do
that.
you hear my
You do
point?
that. You do that.
No. Do you hear my point though? Because you're
You
stopping me
take
before you
your
hear my
chocolate in
point.
America and sell it to
No,
France. You
I'm
do that.
saying
You do that.
that your strategy seems more out of emotions than anything else, really. And
I
I'm a
said
Pan-Africanist, and I
emotional.
believe that we should do for
when
ourselves, and
you
Let us agree to
have
disagree.
trade.
Let us
We should
agree to
have trade
how is
disagree.
within
that
Africa.
Yeah.
We only have
how is that
15%
how is that
intertrade
emotional
within the
when
continent
you
of
create
Africa.
jobs, when you create jobs, thousand jobs for people as well,
Yeah, but you
when the
need
money recycle
capital.
back to
But
you.
where's the capital coming from?
That is where we Pan-African is coming. That's what I've been
All you
Right.
saying.
gotta do
And
is
I'm
build
saying
a
that, yes, so
factory.
we can
All you
also
gotta
do
do is build
business
a
and
factory,
raise
man.
capital by doing
It
business with an
doesn't
existing
cost you
market.
$20 billion
We can
to
raise
Right.
build
capital
a
to do all the
factory.
stuff we need to do.
The biggest
It
people who
doesn't
consume chocolate in
Right.
the
it
world,
doesn't
And we
it's
can
in
get the
listen.
twos
Switzerland.
and fews from
Switzerland.
everybody. Somebody got $1, somebody got $2.
The,
We got a billion people. If a
We
yeah.
billion
create our
people
own
is putting
stock.
$1 in,
We create our own stock
The,
market.
if a 100 million
yeah, but
people are putting
It
$1 in,
doesn't
how much
cost
money is
you
that?
It doesn't
yeah,
cost you
but
20 billion. This is not
I'm
a
just
oil
saying.
refinery.
the
You're not
biggest
building an oil
market in the
refinery.
world,
You're
the
not
biggest
building an
market in
oil
the world for
refinery, man.
chocolate
I'm
is
saying be smart.
Switzerland.
That's all.
Sorry, yeah, it's Switzerland, Germany, Ireland, United
We
Kingdom,
can sell
Sweden,
to them,
Australia.
but
Part of it.
four times, 5 times the price. We can sell to Europe,
Yeah,
but 4 times, 5
this
times the
has stock
price.
market. You can't ignore this market, and also you need a lot of these countries.
And every one of
They
us that put the
foreign exchange
money
alone.
I
in the stock
understand what
Foreign
Bang
exchange
market,
is
alone.
saying,
our
right?
money
You
will keep
could ignore
increasing.
the market if you want to. and you look at that. But my thing is the research. Let's do the research and let's see how long it would take and how much it would take to market
What
to
the hell?
Africans, right? To market to
Nigeria alone
within the
has
continent of Africa. How
Nigeria
much would
alone
it take? How long would it
Nigeria
take?
alone has 250 million people.
I mean, that's
Nigeria alone.
okay. That's
Yeah,
great, but everybody in Nigeria is
how
not
much
eating
do they come?
chocolate. What's the
Exactly.
market
That's
of
the point I'm
chocolate in
trying to make.
Nigeria? Do you
Oh
know?
my God, who hates chocolate?
Do
Tell
you
me somebody
know
that
the
hates chocolate.
market? But I don't care about hate
Right.
chocolate. And if you
Average
have a
Africans don't
marketing
even know
campaign, if you're trying to market
the average
to
African don't
people who
consume
don't
chocolate,
eat
right? You
chocolate,
know
that's
that.
another
Because you know
thing.
why? Because you know why? It's very difficult for them to find it. It's very difficult for them to buy it because everything comes outside.
And that's why we're going to sell it to them 6 times, 7 times, 8 times the
No,
price.
he's talking about Africa though. He's talking about it's difficult for
Okay.
Africans to find it and buy it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think
So that's why we.
Look. Also, right? When people get married, right?
That's what a lot of
Weddings
things.
and all that, right? Events, birthday cakes. Some of these come from it's chocolate
Right.
too. You gotta make you exactly. See people, you see
Right.
you guys, man. You know people get married every day.
For us, it's a game of numbers.
I
For
love
us,
your
it's a game of
passion,
numbers.
Bang. I love your
Hold
passion,
on.
Bang.
Let me say something. For we Pan-Africanists who are capitalists. Hold on now. Let me interject. For we who are Pan-African capitalists, for us, it's a numbers game. We want to conquer the whole of West Africa first. That's about 500 million to 1 billion people. So if we are selling it to them 50 cents, $1, so $1 times 500,000. 500 million. That's a lot. How much are you going to make in the span of 10 years? So the first thing is that we capitalist Pan-Africanists, we see this opportunity. We have to first come together, trust ourselves. The next thing is create a blueprint.
Yeah.
Once we create the blueprint,
we need to practice
we go in there.
economics. I agree.
The cocoa grows in our backyard. The cocoa grows in our backyard.
You ain't lying about that. You're lying about that.
In our backyard. And these people telling you it's like mission impossible. God, you know how simple it is for you to make
educated dummies. Educated dummies.
No, I think it's Europeans that have put pressure. They have put economic pressure on Ivory Coast and Ghana for not build those factories. They put all so there's all these things that are happening.
Hey, do you guys see what Burkina Faso is doing with the tomato factory? The tomato factory is a good example.
So now you agree that
that's a good example.
These presidents in Ghana and Burkina Faso and Ghana and Ivory Coast are not Pan-Africanists then.
No.
Yes, right.
They're agents of destruction.
Exactly.
Not like we are.
That's why they don't have chocolate factory that could produce massive amount. That's why they give about 80% of their cocoa to the white man. They grow it, they take care of it, they dry it as well, and then they bag it and they hand it to the white man, 80%. And then at a return, the white man makes 100 billion more than they do. They only get about 2% of their market.
Well,
only collect 2%
let me ask you this, Bang.
of their market.
Why didn't Ajakuta still go online? And $1 billion was put up front. They built it. It was in 1995. It was 90% finished, and it never went online.
Let me tell you the reason why.
I'm asking Bang that question. Why do you think that happened, Bang?
Because of the Western force came and then
the Kissinger report.
Exactly.
Nigeria must not be allowed to enjoy its natural resources.
You better not produce steel. They told the Nigerians you better not produce steel, and to this day they import $700 million worth of steel or
if
more.
Nigerians were serious, they have leverage as well. Every country has leverage. Every country has leverage.
But Europe has no leverage.
Wait a minute, though. When you have it built, all you got to do now is nut up and be a man.
Okay, who was the president? During that time when he was building it?
In the 80s was the guy starts with an S.
No. It wasn't in the 80s.
Shakiri. In 83. Wait a minute. I'm saying in 83, Shakiri or somebody like that named Shakiri was the president when it was 85% finished in 1983. And then in 1995 was another president that was in office, and they had it 90% finished.
And then what happened after that?
Nothing.
He got removed from power. He got
removed from
power.
Yeah.
He got removed from, I'm telling you, man. The West don't play. He They got ruled by power,
The
man.
West, you mean the niggas is playing? That's what the fuck the West. The black
That's what I'm
man
trying to
is not
say.
It's
got no
playing.
balls. You putting your life
Yeah,
on the
it's
line like
playing.
Traore's putting his life on the line. They didn't put their life on the line.
Sean,
Instead, they took the
Sean,
money.
Sean, that's why I said I've been an AES supporter for almost 4 years. I have the evidence. I could back it up. When I was in my country, the day Assimi Goïta decided to kick out the French, I said it before. I said, this guy is my president. I knew it. And look at how for the past 3 years now, I was correct. And let's give it another 3 more years and see how much more I'm gonna be correct. Because at the end of the day, I know for sure when you're about fixing your country, you have to take power by gun in Africa. Because Africa is so corrupt, you have to take power by gun. That's the only way. You have to take power by gun. But if you take power by gun, you have to do it in a good way for the people. As long as the people are supporting you, they can't take you out.
But I'm saying they cooled with guns. They took power by guns with the coups, but they had the wrong mindset. They had the wrong mindset
because
when they
that
took
coup was
power.
to counter the good president. Sometimes when you have a leader, right, that was under democracy, right, it was voted to get in that position, right? If that leader a good person, right, that leader wants to develop that country, there's gonna be a coup that's gonna be run against that leader and replace that leader. They've done it plenty of times in the 80s. The 70s as well, the early 90s as well. Just look at African history. You had a bunch of coups during this time because during this time, Africans realized, oh shit, we got to fix our countries. So some of those coups, they were meant to be a good coup.
Do you know even
it was a counter coup after them.
Yeah. Do you know even Guinea have steel plants? It's crazy. Guinea actually have a steel plant. You know, Umi South.
You need steel for everything. You
They
need
have the
steel for
highest grade
everything, man.
iron ore in the world.
Huh?
Guinea has the highest grade iron ore in the world.
Guinea is the richest country in West Africa. People don't know that.
Sean, this is why I
Do you know sorry. Do you know the
just 30 seconds.
Yeah, do you know
just 30
the stuff
seconds.
that you okay?
Sean,
go on.
Sean, this is why I get mad at black folks in America. They have the knowledge, they have the capital. For some reason, they don't want to say, F America, I'm gonna invest in Africa.
What do you mean for some reason? We know the don't you know the reason?
No, I don't know. To me, I understand.
I know the reason. Right. The same reason why why the presidents didn't let that steel plant go. It's the same reasons why we don't use our millions.
There's so many African countries that need seaports, man. You know, black folks in America could come together and then say, you know,
miseducated, mentally enslaved, miseducated, colonial
and also, and also Guinea got 3 aluminium refineries. 3, not 1, 3. It's crazy. And they actually they building this one, and this one is coming with a power plant. Not only it's gonna cost to build aluminium, it's very it's consuming a lot of electricity. So what they're doing, they're gonna build electricity plant like to power the entire country, you know, half of the country and the plant. So it's gonna come with both for the benefit. So you know, if Guinea, a small country like Guinea can do it, you know, like I don't understand what Nigeria is waiting for. It's quite shocking, actually. Yeah. So they do,
It's not.
and you're right.
Part
With
of it is a mentality. Is they
the
got
mentality.
a colonial mentality, and the other part of it is that they don't have the courage. They don't have the will, the courage to
and the colonial
stand up
mentality.
against these fucking Western world.
That's
they don't
right.
have the courage,
Because
and that's
you're
what
right.
the AES has.
Sure, you're right. Because the guy in Guinea, he did said to the people who were exporting the raw material, he gave him a timeline. And obviously, they already had one in Guinea over the years anyway, but it wasn't good enough compared to the amount, because the amount that they was actually mining and exporting compared to what they're manufacturing, you know, the finished product in Guinea was actually, you know, low. So he said, nah, I'm not allowing this anymore. I think it's under his reign now. He actually have 3 plants. Before it was 1 steel, 1 aluminium. So now you have 3 aluminium plants. It's his
That's
mindset.
great.
He refused it. He refused it. He said no, enough for taking it. And also Guinea have the the minerals that you that you use to make these microchips. It's around the same You know, the microchip.
Cold Bolt or Coltan or something like that.
They got all these things over there. It's one of the richest. Obviously, they have the highest reserve of aluminium bauxite in the world.
That's great to know, but what is it gonna do if Mamadou Doumbouya ain't moving like he needs to be?
The money is coming in because the thing is, the money is gonna be coming in because some of these companies are not fully operational yet, but they just done them and they done the railways. And in fact, one of the conditions with the railways is to expand a railway to all the way to Mali and to help them also because we know Mali need a lot of help.
How much is
And
the French in his mix too? That's the other
no,
thing. He's
the
married
French,
to a
not
French
this.
woman.
The French are don't the French are not influential in Guinea minerals anymore. I
Anymore.
don't think they ever have been. No, and I don't think they
Well,
actually Russians.
Nah,
The
stop
Russians are the
it,
most.
Africa, man.
The
No, no, no,
yeah, I
The
stop
don't
it, man.
Russians
believe
are
that.
Nah, come on,
the
man.
They got
Russian. Let me
somebody
just
up in
finish.
there.
Stop kissing that guy on
Bang,
the ham
bang.
too much, man.
No, no, bang. The Russians are the one that been mining in Guinea aluminium over the years.
Okay, well they
Yeah,
have to
it was
be,
at what time? Yeah.
checked too.
So
No,
I
no,
think
no.
the Chinese. I think it's Boa and Rio Tinto. It's an
His
Anglo-Saxon
wife,
company and the Chinese.
his wife is a former up to this day a friend's what you call it?
Intelligence.
Yes, come on, man.
It doesn't matter. It's about the job
But
that
stop
he's
trying to
doing.
downplay us
Well, I mean, it's
we on
gonna
this planet right
matter.
here. We not,
Yeah, it's gonna
well
matter.
into to stuff,
Your
man. Come
wife
on,
is
man.
former
Nah,
intelligence
come on,
or
man.
CIMI, whatever they call them in
The
France.
French still has
Is your wife?
massive say in that country. Honestly speaking, man, they do. That is
Yeah.
the facts.
Mm.
He's doing. I'm not gonna say he's like Ivory Coast or Alassane Ouattara over there or the Benin.
Or Cameroon.
No, he's not. He's not. Oh, yeah, exactly. He's far away from that. But let's not act like he's like a revolutionary. Because if he was, he would be the most popular country right now in Africa. There's a reason why Abraham Traore, Google it. He's the more popular country president in Africa.
And he would be working with the AES if he was all about that.
Well, no,
It's not
see,
my opinion.
bang, just
It's
listen,
facts.
bro.
It's facts. There's a
The
reason why.
The Chinese are the biggest people who controlled, the minerals and the mining contract in Guinea. I don't know what you're talking about. They're not the French. That's what I'm trying to say to you. The Chinese control it. They used to be the Russians, but now the Chinese, and these are the people that he forced to build the plants. Let's just stick with the fact.
But they do have relationships with France, though, because that's old relationship.
France still has a say in Guinea. France still
I
has a
don't
say
know
in
what.
Guinea.
Just because the man,
I
okay,
believe it.
listen. They have a say in a lot of countries in West Africa.
But no, not Senegal.
If you
Not
don't believe
Senegal.
me, if you don't believe me,
Not as much in Senegal.
Next time, if Dennis still hear me, right? Next time, Dennis can say, how come nobody not talking about the Guinean president there?
Because he ain't doing shit.
No. Let's Dennis host a show about that president and say, how come people not, excited or people not
because he's not doing shit. Really
No,
revolutionary.
No, I understand.
If he were doing revolutionary stuff, you'd be hearing all about him.
Dennis to host the topic about it, so then we could bring facts.
Right.
No, nobody said that.
If he was doing something, if he was kicking tall and moving things, you would be hearing about him being.
The guy that brought the French back to Guinea after Sekou Touré died was General Lansana Conte. Let's get the fact right. It's General Lansana Conte who brought the French back to Guinea. It's not this guy.
Yeah. Okay. And they've been there, ever since.
No,
they have not left.
No. But when I'm saying they don't control the bauxite industry.
Listen. But what about the Pact for the Continuation of Colonization? So Sekou Touré wasn't in on that. Didn't sign in on it. I think he did not go for that. But after he died and this other Conte took over, did he fall in line? Put it this way: is half of their reserves being kept in France? Their central bank reserves. That's the question.
The guy is listen. The guy. Yeah. How many of? I don't want to argue for the sake of it. The man, since he's been in power, he already got 3 aluminium plants established. One of the biggest gold refineries established, and he's doing work that's so visible.
Are
Nobody
they
ever
state-owned?
seen this.
Are they state-owned?
Some of them. Okay.
Did you say
Yeah,
gold
didn't
refinery?
you know that?
Wait, are
Yes,
they? But Bang, are they state owned?
yes,
Don't believe him. Don't believe
yes,
him. Don't believe
yeah.
him. Don't
Africa,
believe
they're
him.
state.
You don't
Okay, they
believe
are
it?
state owned.
No, they're not state owned.
Okay,
They're not state
Dennis,
Okay,
owned.
Dennis,
They're not state owned.
tomorrow,
okay. Then
next
who
time when you
owns
do
them
have a
then?
free time, shot.
Mm.
When next time Dennis have a free time, says, how come we not talking about what's his name?
You don't have to be talking about it.
Dubai,
Hey,
Mama D,
this
Mama
is
D,
this
Mama
is
Go
Do,
there.
this is
Dambuya.
information word now. When you're doing something great, you can't keep it. You can't hide it. You can't hide it. You can hide it. You understand me, right? You see how, like, when war happening, people send videos. You know, soldiers, terrorists send videos nowadays. You can't hide stuff no more, man. It's out there like this. If you doing anything good or bad, people see it like this, man. Come on. This is not like
Okay.
And
five or 10 years ago, man.
what's good
Let's
for us is
Look,
bad for
leave this
them.
alone. Stop it, man.
bam, bam.
I'm not. He's far away from Paul
What's
Big.
good for us is
He's much
bad
Yeah,
for
better than
them,
Paul
and so
Big.
you'll know when you're
Much
doing
better than
good
Paul Big.
because you'll know when you're doing good because they'll be
that. I will
talking
give you that.
about
Can I say
you're
one
doing
thing?
bad.
But he's not a
Can I
revolutionary
finish?
president.
Can I just say
He's
one
not.
thing? Okay, I
He's
don't care
not.
where I
He's
don't
not.
care where you. It doesn't matter. Okay, but the man of the gold refinery I mentioned, Guinea is currently developing the Nimba gold refinery. Okay, now the Nimba gold refinery will be the largest gold refinery when it's complete in Africa.
So first, you claim that they have a gold refinery, and then
No, but
now
they
you
just
telling
finished
us
it.
that.
They just
Okay,
finished it.
hold
They
on,
just
hold on, hold
finished
on, hold
it.
on.
I thought it's finished by now.
There's no
I thought it was
way.
finished because it started.
No. There's no way he's building the largest gold refinery
Well,
in Africa,
it's
West
going to be
Africa,
one of the largest.
and then
That's one of.
somebody like
It's
me,
going to be one of the. Mm.
hold on, somebody like me, I was aware of that. There's no way. Because you
Is
said they building the largest
it's
gold
going to be one of
refinery.
the largest.
There is
It's going to be
no
one of the
way
largest in Africa.
there is no way. I'm not aware of that. No way.
Guinea is currently
I'm not aware of that.
developing one of the biggest gold refinery in Africa, and it's going to be
Okay.
And you know who owns it?
completed
Who
in.
owns the most of it is a LLC out of Dubai. I just googled it.
Yeah. Hey, thank you.
Right.
I'm not saying it's state. I'm not saying it's state owned. Did I say it's state owned?
Sean,
Did I say it's state
No,
owned?
you didn't. I asked you. You said no, it
thank you.
wasn't.
Thank you.
Let's
As
not
long
just.
as the West is not fighting you, you work for them. As long as the West is not fighting you, you work for them.
I am listen. I am not I'm not here to. I'm not here to compare him to. Let me just finish, man.
Ran for 40
Man,
years,
I'm
my
not here
brother,
to
man.
compare him to other
But you
leaders.
see,
I'm
he
not
ran
here
for
to compare
40
him to
years.
a. Bro,
No,
come on. Let me just say one thing.
understand
I'm
that.
not here to.
Understand that.
I'm not here to
As long
compare
as
him
the
to other
West,
AES leaders. But all I'm saying is he's
as
doing
long as
better
the
than
West
all the
is
other
not
guys that was there
pressuring
before him.
you are
He's
under
doing
their
the same
control.
thing that Tshisekedi is doing with letting Bezos and Trump and Gates to build these
What
refineries.
he's doing is right, because Guinea don't have the money to build all these refineries and develop all this infrastructure based on
So
the corruption.
now,
Let me just finish. Can I
he's trying
just
to do is
finish?
now,
Can I finish,
what
Frank?
he's trying to prove
I'm
this
gonna
time.
log out now. Now let me just
What he's trying to
finish
say
what I'm
is this,
got to
right?
say.
What is he's laying down the excuse now. He's laying down the excuse for
Wait,
you.
okay,
Huh?
listen to
So what
this.
he's trying to do is
Listen,
now
bang, bang.
the
Listen, it
reason
says,
why
wait,
you see,
listen.
hold
Listen, it says
on.
Nimba Investments
I know the
LLC
technique.
from Dubai. Hold on. Listen to who owns what. It says Nimba Investment LLC and the Guinea government. Ownership and key investment details. Nimba Investment LLC, the Dubai-based firm, is a subsidiary of the Emirates Mining Minting Factory LLC Group, a company registered in the United Arab Emirates. Guinea government, the state holds a significant stake in the project as part of its strategy to increase local resource processing under the Samandu 2040 program.
Simandu
Key
Venkara.
financial backing. The project is
So
heavily
the
financed
government.
by
So
Yakuba
yeah.
Sija, the founder of Phoenix Precious Metals, who partnered with the Guinea Ministry of Mines and Emirates Mining. So that's good.
One second.
That's good.
Yeah.
But
So thank you, Shah.
1 second.
Thank you, Shah.
Just 10 seconds.
Bang,
Just 10 seconds. I'm
I'm
gonna be
getting
quiet.
tired, man.
10 seconds. 10 seconds. Shot. You see how they did not include no percent? They did not tell you physical percent.
they sure didn't.
That's the reason why. They did not. But they claim, oh, it's gonna be put over.
But
I know the games, man.
can I just say with the tilt
I know the
with
games,
the other
man.
ones?
I know the games. Man.
Why are you shouting, bro? We're not rioting. We just
No,
talking
me. Africa come first, man. To me, Africa come first. That's how it go.
about.
Your people come
Okay,
first.
yeah, that's fine.
Any president that put their people first, that prioritize their people first. I don't care what country you at. I will support you. That's how I go. But to me, I don't want our resource to be private owned, and then some president acting like they doing something big. Because what you're doing, you basically selling the country. That's all you're doing. You're basically selling the country, but then you just present it as if you bring development. So by the time people wake
Well,
up
if
and
a
realize
country, if Shah just went,
everything
the
is privatized.
government have a significant
If the
share,
government
and
did,
who
they would have tell us the
the government
percent.
have a
They did
significant
not
hold
tell us the
that they hold.
percent.
The
If the
the
government
other
did,
ones, I
they would
think.
have tell us the percent. They didn't. When Assimi Goïta, right, signed a deal with
Yeah,
a
but
Russian
bang, why
company
is it? You gotta let other
to build a
people speak,
refinery,
bro. Come
right?
on, man.
They told us exactly the percent. They told us the exactly percent. Malian getting it, I think it was like 60, I think 61%. 61%. They told us the exactly percent. There's a reason why they did not tell us that.
Okay, I got a
I know the
percentage
game.
here. I got a percentage here. And see, they try to throw it off because I asked the question, what percentage does Guinea own in Nimba? It says Nimba, it says in Guinea, the state's ownership in Nimba projects vary significantly depending on the specific entity or project being discussed. See that? See that? As the name is used across several major mining and refining initiatives. Nimba Mining Company, NMC, is 100% owned by Guinea government, but Nimba
Thank
Gold
you.
Refinery for the Nimba Gold Refinery Conakry, the government operates a joint venture partner with private investors. Ownership structures, Guinea Mining Code, which typically grants the state 15% free carried interest in mining related
Yeah,
projects with the option to purchase an additional 20% status. So, but that's
got
not
that.
really saying what it says. Ownership structure,
Exactly.
while the
Look at that.
exact
That's a good
equity
deal.
split for the specific refinery isn't publicly disclosed as a single percentage, it follows the Guinea Mining Code, which typically grants the state a
Man,
15%
I'm
free
done.
carried interest. So there you
I'm done.
go.
There you go.
I'm done.
There you
I'm
go.
done.
So
I'm
see,
done. I'm
You're
done.
right.
I'm
You're right,
done.
see.
Bang.
Mm.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean. I know how African politicians behave, man. I know their codes. I know exactly how they disguise things, man. I come from a politician family. They tell me shit. They tell me shit. I don't have to come in and tell them like, no, African politicians are crooks, are criminals. We need to get rid of these old motherfuckers. I'm
Yes.
telling you, man. These people worship foreigners. They
Yeah,
do, man.
they're
You can't
messed up.
change a
But
50-year-old
Sha,
man no more.
Sha,
You can't change a 60-year-old lady no more. They gone. Their mindset is fucked.
Sha.
They can't help the young, poor Africans. Come on, man. We sit here in Western countries and then try to like twist it around. No,
But
fuck that.
Can you compare that to the other African countries? The percentage that they actually without investing
Oh,
anything
man,
on.
man, man,
I
please, man.
think that
Africa,
the AES
Africa,
is
man.
the
Please
ones
don't.
to make
Please
the
don't.
No,
bar.
let's
Because
not.
Sierra Leone is the
No, the
worst. Sierra
okay.
Leone is
No,
the
the
worst.
AES. No, the
Ghana is
AES.
getting
The
more.
AES.
Ghana just charged the 12. They just upped the ante on their gold mines percentage where they're getting 12%. You know, but it's a sliding kind of scale depending, I guess, on what the price of gold is and what the size of the company is, what they're going to be charging. But they went up, and it was such a big deal that Russia, not Russia, but China, United States, and Australia came together and did a group letter to the government of Ghana saying, well, please don't go up on the prices. And they're making hand over, the gold has gone up so much, they're making hand over fist. But Ghana put his foot down and
How
said,
many
no.
percentage? How many percentage?
Well, I'm saying 12%.
Yeah, exactly. Not 15% though, and it's negotiating for 12. And Guinea
Yeah.
already got 20 and 15 potentially to go to 20. So
No, Guinea's
it's
good.
still above. Yeah,
No.
thank you.
Yeah.
I have enough respect for him. He's far away from like
Thank you.
Paul Bear.
Yeah.
He far away from that. I have
It's
some
far away
respect
from
for
lots of
him.
other African countries. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
Thank you.
He's better than my country. He's better than my leader right now. I'm just saying the truth. And the previous president as well. Mamadou is better than
Alpha Conde.
the two presidents we had
It's be-
currently in Sierra Leone, the last two.
yeah.
He's better. I'm saying automatically. He's way better. You know, I don't. He's doing good enough. But to me, I would not define him as a revolutionary president. I'm not. I am not. He had a chance to be one, but he chose not to. He
Yeah,
had
that
a chance to be
sucks.
one, but he chose not to. He had
Yeah.
it. He
could have
Damn.
been. He could have been. He
So
had
could
it,
have
but he
Phi.
chose
So
not
could
to.
Phi.
Nothing
Could have
wrong
been
with
one
that. I
too.
understand. I understand. He chose the you know, the
What's his
better route for
name?
him to be more laid, so then he doesn't want to
If
be,
if
he
if
doesn't want the
Sonko
West
had
to
been
bring some, I understand.
if
Nothing wrong with
Sonko
that.
had been president of Senegal, you think he would have joined the AES?
So
Oh,
listen,
hell yeah.
no. See, let me tell you
Hell
one
yeah.
thing.
Hell
When
yeah.
I speak to my when I speak to my Senegalese brothers, yeah, they disappointed with Sonko and Jemai. They just want Macky Sall back. I'm not joking.
What?
Majority of them
Oh
yeah,
no.
majority of them. I know majority of them that was to support Sonko, and they feel disappointed.
Why? Did they say why?
Because since they've been in power, they haven't done jack.
No,
At least Macky Sall,
I've been seeing them.
even okay,
I've
yeah.
been seeing them doing. They've renegotiated a bunch of deals, some deals,
Yeah, yeah,
when they
but
first got into
if you look at
office.
what Macky Sall managed to achieve in his time in his office, the infrastructure, the lot of things that he brought to the country, the companies that he brought and the employment, these guys haven't managed to match that,
Well,
and so
but then that's the other part about it is that when you're not all the way in with the white boys and the deals that were being made with the white
yeah,
boys, then you got some potential things going on. But if you're not all the way in with them and you're not all the way
mm,
out with, to me, I'd rather be all the way out with them and be
mm,
doing what the AES is doing
mm.
than
But
being halfway there.
the
No,
Because
thing
no, I
is,
mean,
what you got,
no, I mean,
but what you got to remember is, yeah, sorry
yeah,
about
go
it.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead,
It's a
go
big
ahead, my bad, my bad, my
Macky
bad.
Macky Sall is actually trying to run to be the United Nations, the next UN Secretary General. I don't know if it's going to succeed,
United
but
Nations,
yeah,
what?
Secretary General.
That
Chief.
useless organization. That's what I call UN. It's a useless
Yeah, it's
organization.
like the
I had
AU.
Yeah, yeah.
there's some full of people, right?
But in,
There's some full of
mm,
people that text me. Oh, look what we have, man. A fool about to be the secretary of I'm like, get the hell out of my face, man. That useless organization. We don't have no
mm.
power in that.
No, it's not.
We ain't got
It's not.
no veto power. I mean, we ain't got no goddamn veto power, man. What am I going like happy for? Because what? He's a fool guy. Man, I don't do that. I do not do that.
The woman that was the woman that was next to the Secretary General, she's a Nigerian Fulani anyway. It didn't make any difference, so it doesn't make shit.
But either
UN is
way,
run by
Africa.
America. UN is controlled by America.
But either way, we can't project power in the UN
Mm.
at all. So it's like we just come there just to be there. That's all it is to us. That's all it is because the people that have power is like what, 6 countries: America, China, Russia, England, I think France and Germany.
Yeah, UN is a UN, US control UN. United Nations is actually American, project and property. So whatever
Oh,
America want
okay.
you to do, that's what you do. Simple as that. So
No,
it
no.
doesn't make any. Just
To
like
a certain
NATO, and
extent,
NATO is the same thing.
if you have a
Mm,
veto power, like Russia and China always work together
mm,
because they have a veto power, so they can always veto something. That's about
mm.
it. But overall, it's a useless organization. I don't take that organization serious at all because it wasn't built for equality at all. UN was never built for equality. UN has
It
never
was
been for
built for
equality.
Europe and the United
Thank
States.
you. Thank you. People
Yeah.
need to
Oh, that's
realize
Yeah.
true.
what it is.
That's true.
League of
Mm.
Nations to take over from the League of Nations. And League of Nations was created because they was fighting the First World War. They was fighting, and so they's like, okay, we're gonna stop this fighting and shit, and we're gonna start an organization. So they start the League of Nations. That was after they had divided up Africa, because I think part of the fighting was, oh, who's gonna get what in Africa. That was part of the World
Yeah.
War One.
When I told
Yeah.
somebody, right? When I told
Mm,
somebody, I'm gonna
mm,
take what you call it, Benin and hand it to Nigeria, right? I'm gonna take Togo and hand it to Ghana, right? I'm gonna take Sierra Leone and hand it to Guinea, Liberia as well, right? And Guinea-Bissau as well, right? And then I'm gonna hand Gambia to Senegal. Guess what this person told me? She said, "Oh,
mm,
why are you thinking like what you call it, a colonial masters?" I said, "What the hell you mean?"
mm.
I said, it's the same people, the same tribes. They speak the same language, the same
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah.
These countries, who gave it to you? It wasn't your people. Who
Mm,
drew these borders?
So she was like already shocked and like trying to call me like I'm trying to colonize countries. I'm trying to hand countries to other people. I said no. I said it helps Africa better because you know why? The bigger you are, the more stronger you are. These small countries, they can't project nothing. Honestly
Right.
speaking, that's why Nigeria is very important because of the size. If you split Nigeria into 5 countries, it will be nothing. Honestly speaking, it will be just like typical, like my country. You understand me, right?
Bang,
But the
what was
reason
Western
it is because
Sahara?
of the size.
What countries made up Western Sahara?
Oh God, Western Sahara is actually Western Sahara is isn't it between Mauritania and Morocco, but the
No,
Algerians are
n-
claiming it.
no, not no. Is it Western Sudan? Is it, or was it Western? What it used to be called before it was
Western
Mali,
Sudan is Mali, Mali.
Senegal, and Guinea. Was it
Yeah,
Western
well,
Sudan?
Western Sudan, yes.
Yeah. So that was Mali, Guinea, Senegal, right?
Yeah, Senegal,
Okay.
Mali, and Guinea. Yeah, there used to be
And Guinea, yeah,
one,
Guinea,
and
Senegal,
and
Mali.
uh, and well, during the
It was the
Mali
British.
Empire, yes.
It was the British that
It,
that split
no,
into 2.
not Brit.
Western
No, it was
Sudan.
French. It
Yeah,
was
it was
French.
French. It was French.
France.
Right, it
Basically,
was French.
Guinea, Senegal, Mali, Mauritania, all this region. Well, the Senegalese region, Senegal, what you see today, as I said, used to belong to the great Takru kingdom, but that merged into the Mali Empire. It was a separate entity, but eventually became part of the Mali Empire. Mauritania was also merged in. There was because that's what the Ghana Empire used to be before
Right,
the
the
Mali.
Soninke,
So
yeah.
yeah, that's right. And then you have, further down, like Guinea was just like an outpost, really, where a lot of people from the Mali run away to get away,
But
and Sierra Leone.
at some point wasn't the seat of power in Guinea?
And then you have Niger Republic was also part of it. All the way, Mali Empire was actually stretched. Yeah, the Mali Empire
Right.
stretched from the east all the way, like where you have Niger Republic, all the way to the Atlantic Ocean, man.
But the
Yeah.
Songhai was even bigger though, right?
Hmm?
Songhai was basically the
Um,
same thing. It was just a switch of where the seat of
Switch
power
over, I
was.
think.
And I
Yeah,
think it
yeah.
was bigger though. It was bigger than Mali Empire.
I don't
And it
know,
was bigger
I
than
need to
Ghana
double check it.
Empire,
Mm.
I
Well,
think.
to be honest, the Mali have made the Mali Empire became more, everlasting, if not impactful than the rest of them.
I mean,
I
they're
think it's
all the
because of the last
same.
one.
They're
Yeah,
basically the same people, just where the seat of power was. The seat of
yeah,
power was in,
yeah, yeah,
Mauritania, and then the seat of power was in
yeah,
Segu, Mali. At
yeah.
one
True,
point
true,
was in Segu,
true. They just
and
keep
then at another
conquering each
point it
other.
was,
That's it. Yeah,
yeah. So it's
they just,
basically the
yeah.
same people.
They build this one, they destroy it, they fight, and they come back together and they build another empire. They destroy it, they fight.
Right.
This is West African history for you. That need to stop.
hmm But
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Fulani or the Fula are the ones
yeah.
who went in. They went into uh, parts of West Africa into Mali. They took over a bunch of shit. Right, the Pul and
You-
the Fulani, the Fula, and they set up these
Where?
throughout. They went across, and they had a
Oh,
big
they
beef
went.
with Segu. They had a beef with Segu Mali when they came in to take over and bring Islam because the Bamako was like, we're not doing that. We're not practicing that, and you're not running shit over here, and we're not practicing no Islam. So
Yeah.
eventually they lost and they did succumb to it. So when I hear Africans saying, we voluntarily took Islam, like that's a lie. Everybody didn't voluntarily. You might have voluntarily took it, but not everybody voluntarily took Islam.
The Soninke were the first people that adopted Islam in West Africa during the Ghana. I
And
don't know
that was in the
how they managed.
cities. And that was in the
Yes,
cities. And
yeah,
in the rural
yeah,
areas, they were still
yeah,
practicing the
yeah.
tradition. Like even today in the rural areas, they practicing more of the tradition than they are
Hey,
Islam.
hey, hey. Let me tell you one thing. Majority of West Africans, whether they full of this, that, they all practice that traditional on the quiet. Yeah,
Mm,
this is just a fact. They do. They still follow it. Well, because
thank God.
the because of the Wahhabis, the extreme or not the new type of Islam that came, you know, they it's taboo. So they kind of hide it, but they all do. They go, most of them go to the band. Most people go to Marabu, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bang, bang, bang. Are you
Yeah,
there?
yeah, 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 yeah. My bad,
Most
man.
people go.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Most
listening.
people still go to the Marabu. Most people go to the Marabu, right? In Africa,
Yeah, yeah. That was
they still do.
that was a video I
They still
saw
do it.
on. That was a video I saw, an old video of a Fula guy in Cameroon.
Mm.
So he called up his friend, and then his friend was gave him some type of leaf, something like that. He told him to crush it and then rub it somewhere on his
They
body,
still do it.
and
They
said
still do it. They
and
haven't
said
stopped following. Listen,
and then yeah, and then he told him the spirit won't attack you.
mm.
That's
Now they still
technically,
do it.
that's
Ninety
technically
percent. Ninety
people.
percent of
It's
African
just
Muslims,
yeah,
they still follow the African traditional religion. Guarantee.
Mm,
But they don't talk
yeah,
about
I don't know if
yeah.
I would go that
People,
far, bro. You kind of going
no,
far with
no,
that.
no, no, no,
Yeah,
no,
you going
no,
far
no.
you
with
be
that.
shocked. I
Sha,
tell you that. Trust me, bro.
You
You
guys have to
surprised.
understand. You guys have to understand, right? Islam has been in Africa for a long time, so you just can't. You understand? You gotta
Yeah,
like, you gotta slowly
but
develop things.
it's been destructive to the culture and to the to our culture. It has been destructive.
Yeah, but
There,
okay, Sha. You come to Africa, right? What you gonna offer these people for them just to say, okay, well, I want, I want to be, traditionalist. You gotta offer them something.
well, what I
That's
would
what I'm trying
do,
to
let
say.
me tell you what I
You
would
gotta
do.
offer them. You understand me, right?
What I
It's
would
like
do,
how you
because I'm
see
a
like
practitioner,
these.
I would have a class in which someone would be, interpreting, and I would do Western medicine and I do traditional medicine and do side by side, more
No, when I say
preventive.
offer something,
Right.
right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about heavy capital, heavy.
Oh, but
That's what
that's
I'm trying
not
to
my
say.
area. That's not my. I'm staying in my lane. My lane is
Yeah, they're
culture,
gonna look
is
at you. They're gonna look
spirituality.
at you
Well,
as,
I know, Isha, you very much into African spirituality. I
Yeah.
got you.
So and
But
people need to go to the doctor. People need to
this is
go
a
to the
fact.
doctor. And I'm
But
saying that the
this is
stuff
just
we do is preventative,
mm,
is really the bang for the buck is preventative.
you
When it
you
gets
will
to
not go.
tertiary treatment, when you
Mm,
bleeding and you
mm,
hit a guy hitting the car or something, you got to go to the doctor and get stitched up or whatever. You got to go to to emergency. I'm not talking about that. And I'm going to show
mm.
them how the deep tradition and stuff that y'all used to do or still do. You think that Western medicine is better? No, your stuff is better, and this is why. That's what I would do.
Yeah, but the thing is, majority you will not find a Muslim household in, for example, in in Sierra Leone, Guinea, probably even Senegal, even Mali, that does not practice the African tradition in the household. They do. They will go to marabouts. Marabouts are one of the wealthiest people. You go to some of this African traditional religion people in Africa. They sit in their whole day. The amount of people that you see going in there, in and
I
out, in
know.
and out. They're making money.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
they are making money. It's there. These things are never
This
gone.
man told me, this priest from Benin,
Mm,
Edo from Nigeria,
mm, mm,
Benin, right? He said his mother was 101 years old, and he said still to this day, this was an elderly man that I know. He was a Ifa priest. He said his mother makes $100 a day. She still sees people. I found that
mm.
hard to believe at 100 years old, but that's what he said. She's making money every day. It's not a day that she's not making at least a hundred
Yeah,
dollars.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
U.S. dollars, not
And
naira.
mm, yeah. So to be honest, it's just I don't know. It's just mad. It's just I honestly for us, religion is very fluid in our region. But for some areas, religion is very strict. You have to follow a certain way, and
And
I
you're
think that's one
from
of the reasons why.
where you from?
uh, me,
Yeah.
I'm a Sierra Leonean. I'm
Okay.
Salone.
Well, see, that's going to be different than being in Nigeria. You
Oh
and
yeah,
you and D,
Nigeria. No,
yeah,
yeah,
you and D were
Nigeria.
talking about that. I heard y'all talking about why do the people act like that about religion in other places, and we don't act like that
Mm, mm,
because it's
mm.
different.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, no. In Nigeria, they're very. But even in Nigeria, you'd be surprised. They still do follow animism because animism is a very popular religion in the Sahel. The Sahelian, they're actually one of the best animists you can find in the world. It's this strict code Islam is just a myth in a way, to be honest with you. And I think religion is in Africa. It's just it depends on the person. That's why I don't generalize it. I just look at people as
People
they
got
come.
mosques. Come on, bro. They got mosques. They got they
Mm.
praying 5 times a day.
Oh yeah, you're
Uh,
gonna.
you
Yeah, that's
know,
the
they're
Wahhabism. That's
covering. The
the
women are covering
Wahhabis.
up.
Mhm.
That's not an
Yeah, that's the
African
Wahhab.
thing.
That's the Arab culture, and this is what I don't understand why they
Yeah.
have to cover up.
In
It's like
hot
even the
ass
Arab.
Africa, it's hot. Why you
Yeah,
covering up?
yeah, and also why do they have to follow the Arab culture instead of following the religion? But you know what?
Because you
In West
can't
Africa,
separate it.
during the Mali Empire, when our ancestors, were following Islam, it's not the same as how the some of these people are practicing it today, and that's the reason why majority of us in the far west we follow the Mali script of Islam compared to the Nigerian version. Those in
Hmm.
Nigeria, those in Nigeria, um, they actually are they more
More
with the Arab version of
orthodox.
Islam.
Yeah,
Yes.
more
So
orthodox. They're not the
we follow the
Sufis.
Mali too. Yes. Like if
You
you look
guys are
at
more
people
Sufi.
yeah, if for example, if you go to Guinea right now, yeah, where you find majority of the great Mandinka people and the great Fula people, you find Christians there, which are the minority of the minority. And in fact, at the moment, Christians are having a parade, like they're having a good time. Government spending money, supporting them, but that will not happen in the majority, for example, northern Nigerian states. They'll be like, "Oh, they're Christians. Why are we allowing this rubbish?" You know. So it's like their tolerance towards people that not like them is very, very harsh in Nigeria, and that is something that need to change. For a nation to move forward. Likewise, us in West Africa, in the far west, like Sierra Leone, Guinea, Liberia. I think that to be honest, I wouldn't say I think Liberia they actually have less religious tolerance for a Christian nation. If I'm honest with you, but like Guinea, Sierra Leone, Senegal, Ghana, Ivory Coast, these countries are very free. Like probably Togo, Benin. You can go. These countries are very relaxed with religion, man. They're very okay with anything that you want to believe in. No one give a monkey
Oh,
as
okay. As
long as
far
you
as
don't
that,
disturb them. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But it's a lot
So
of
that,
Christians, zealots stuff going on in Ghana. I hear. Um,
yeah, exactly.
less so in
Yeah,
Togo and Benin
I know.
because yeah, but it's the Christianity is whoa.
Yeah.
Um,
So all this, yeah, that's why most of the time, like when I
Man,
think of,
do you guys see South
yeah,
Africans, man?
oh my
oh God,
God,
Those Zulu people,
man,
man.
this, yeah. Do you know
Jesus.
what?
Man,
I'm supporting the white South Africans now.
let me say this real quick, right? Because yesterday
I'm not
Dennis
joking.
had a topic about it, but then
Mm.
I think I show up late. So this
I was
FBA
waved,
guy
man. I
was
was
talking.
waved.
Yes, this
Yeah.
FBA guy was talking, right? This FBA guy.
Mm,
To me,
mm,
right? If
mm,
FBAs, right?
Mhm.
mm.
If somebody give them the authority, they would do the same thing what the black South Africans are doing to other black Africans.
Wow, that's
I
Mm.
believe that.
crazy.
I believe that. I believe that. FBAs would do the exact same thing.
Mm.
The only reason why is because of the way South Africa operates.
I
That's
Mm.
would
the only reason
say,
why. But
yeah,
to me,
I would
I
say,
don't
but
think
if
so.
they
I
were
don't
the
think so.
majority, if they were the
I
majority of the
don't think. I
people,
don't think
but
they would.
FBA
as
will
a
do that.
fringe group, no, they wouldn't get
I'm,
they
I'm
wouldn't
telling
get
you.
away with
I'm
that.
telling you, man.
As a
FBA
little
would.
bitty
FBA
fringe
would.
group, we would put that shit down.
FBA would. FBA
If
would.
if they
I'm
were,
telling you.
we made it. We signed a petition for them to be a hate group 4 years ago when it first came out, and we were beefing with them on Twitter, and we were the Pan Africanists, and they were the FBA, right? So they called ICE on one of our people. And this brother is a naturalized citizen, been here for fucking, he ain't but in his early 30s, late 20s, and he's been here
Mm.
since he was 4 or 5 years old. So they called ICE on him because he was a leader in our group. And so what we did is started a petition for them to be a hate group. We got all the signatures we needed for them to be
Yeah.
labeled as a hate group because they
Mm.
met all the criteria. I don't think we finished the process or whatever, but it did stick with them, and
Yeah.
it helped. It really did weaken them and kind of spread them out. It kind of dismantled them a bit and fractured
Right.
them. So, and there
Well,
was no
do you know what?
FBA
Yeah.
when I first came on. Well, when I first came on about 5 years, almost 5 years ago, the very first room that I went to was a FBA room, and they were questioning me about who I was, and I didn't know anything. It was my very first time being in spaces. So,
Right.
later come to find out that it was some bullshit, and that it was even smaller then. It was very few then. Now it
Right.
has grown, but I think that a lot of people are catching on to it and going, "What are y'all doing? This is not. No, we ain't down with this."
I mean,
African
look at
Americans.
the yeah, sure. Look at the Supreme Court, federal court ruling on the voters. Is
Well,
that Louisiana? Is that
no,
Louisiana? The
no, for
voting.
the country.
Yeah.
That
Is that?
ruling, that ruling was for the country. That they have
Wow.
gutted the Voting Rights Act bill. They have gutted it
Yeah.
to where it means nothing now. And so
Ah.
we fought for that so that we could have fair electoral process. And they're
Mm,
like, well, now you don't need it anymore, and you just need to prove that it's racism. If you got a racist situation, you need to prove it, which is ridiculous.
ah.
So yeah,
So
but for
that
me,
they think
it's
it's a
good.
setback.
Well, in a way, it's
Okay.
good in a way because
Okay.
we need to make the electoral process secondary, and primary needs to be what we were talking about earlier, is putting our monies
Mm,
together so we can build grocery store chains in our communities and build our own hospitals and build our own schools. We
mm,
need to be doing those types of things, and then using the electoral process to focus our votes to have those
mm.
national benefits come down to stuff that we're doing.
Right.
That's what the
Um.
Jews do. They got their own stuff. We can do
Mm,
it, and this is where we ally with Africa. And I bring these conversations up. We're so stupid. Some of our
mm.
people, I don't want to have nothing to do with Africa. Africa, blah blah blah. I said, you're ridiculous. You don't make no sense. You're stupid. I hate to say you're stupid, but I mean I just get frustrated sometimes. But this is
Yeah.
where we come together, 50 million of us, and we
Hmm.
put our monies together and do some things in Africa. And some of us will move, some of us won't move. And those of us who move that will build, we can build with whatever country we're building with, and move things forward.
Yeah. No,
And
I
it's
agree. I mean, we don't practice group economics at all. In my city, you see lot of Pakistanis. Like one of my friend who's a Pakistani, they've been putting money together and they building a lot of projects in their country. And also they bought like loads of houses in Bristol, in my city, and they're renting it out. To black people and to other people. It's like they'll come and buy up the entire street or buy up area with their money. We
mhm.
don't practice this, and it's
Yeah,
sad.
we should
And it's
allow
not it's
that.
not like we don't have the money to do it. It seems like we lack the organization and we lack the will. And also if you look at some of our I was looking at it, for example, like Boa in Nigeria and Dangote, because I think Boa is the second richest man in Nigeria after Dangote. They're both northerners. The amount of money and wealth they have, good. I mean, they're investing a lot in Africa, but I think they should branch out more to the West, like in America and Europe. They should open up banks and stuff like that where they can actually work with the diaspora. That would be really encouraging.
Mhm.
And also, yeah, and people don't know this, but where that area you call Northern Nigeria, even though they have mass poverty, they have loads of billionaires in that region also. And these
Then why aren't
people,
they fixing that up?
I
Why
know
they
it's
got that
crazy.
like
It's crazy. Do you
yeah.
know what? I saw in the Guinea TV because I watch Guinea TV. I saw about few wealthy Nigerians who actually went to Guinea. They actually invested money in infrastructure in Guinea. They're from northern Nigeria, and I think, to be honest, I think it's insecurity in some area and some other aspect is probably political, innit?
Yeah,
But I
it's the
can see
government. They don't want to invest in it because the
yeah,
government's messed up.
yeah,
They don't
they
want to
don't
play
want to
politics
take the
with
money
those
out.
good old
Yeah,
boy,
yeah.
corruptness.
Because I saw these guys, about three Nigerian philanthropists in Guinea. they're speaking to the Guinean urban development, whatever. I think they're taking up the whole area and they develop in the place. So I can see some of their money is coming out, which is good. And I saw Dangote there once, and he said he's going to build a fertilizer plant for them, and stuff like that, which I think is good. Even before you go to West Africa, I hope you go to the West Africa first, and because he's doing a lot of good work in Ghana. And I hope you go to Guinea and invest in Guinea because there's a lot to come over there in the next few years. Well, I mean, with some of our millionaires and our billionaires, even African Americans as a group, you have a lot of leverage. African Americans they have the spending power that they have. Like you can just imagine if there was that business savvy, connecting with the continent and even
And we
America,
do
they would
have
be,
we have business savvy people in our
yeah,
group, lots of them.
yeah,
But what's
yeah,
missing? What's missing is that
mm,
Afrocentric viewpoint, that revolutionary
right,
Pan Africanist spirit. Is
right,
that if you don't have, and this shows you that if you're working against your interests or not working in your interests, then there's
mm,
something wrong with you.
right,
Because the Jews are doing it, the Chinese are doing it,
mm-hmm.
everybody's doing it, but we're not doing it. So what's wrong with us?
Mad,
Colonial
isn't it?
education, miseducation, Abrahamic religions also play a part of it. I hate to say it,
Yeah,
but it does, because that part is, if your God is your enemy, if you see God as a white boy with blonde hair and blue eyes, and
mm,
that is also the person who's causing you a lot of heartache and problems, but that's who
yeah.
you see as your God, you got a problem.
For me, honestly, I don't care what someone believes in. That's my principle. If someone worship a tree, let them worship it. If so, whatever makes you, but just makes it personal to you. Don't disturb me with it. That's it. As
But you
long as
but but but
you're happy.
you're disturbed by it because you're making bad decisions, and your decisions are based on your
Mm,
education and what you believe in, because what you believe in has intent.
mm, mm.
It's tied
Oh
to
yeah, I
what
think
you doing.
yeah. I mean, look at the Europeans. They practice different religion, but the one thing they have in common is their race and their people. They're not try. If you look at the UK, for example, England, where I live, England was quite tribal, years ago. Before the Romans got here, it was a tribal country. They have the Saxon, they have the Wessex, they have the Sussex. All the names that you see, these were a group of people, and they have the Welsh. They have like the Celts. Like the Scottish. They have the Normans. They have but they just decided, you know what? To hell with all this. Let's just think about our people and our our colonists and our progression. That's it. They work on that and they actually make, like for example, Christianity. The Romans, Christianity came to England. Okay, it's not natural to this land, but they make the best out
Right.
of it.
Right.
So
They
there's a
they
way you
they
can,
human they
yeah,
put it in their image. They put God in their image. Their
yeah,
God
yeah,
is not
yeah.
but see, when it comes to us though, the angels are white, the demons are black
Oh yeah,
magic. So this
yeah,
is a psychological thing that they have done to us, and if we don't recognize what they have done to
yeah,
us psychologically, and we
yes,
think that it's just, oh, we chose to be Christians. This is what Africans are
yes,
telling me.
yes.
Africans are
No,
telling me
you're right. You
we chose to be, huh?
mhm, yeah.
And
I
like
mean,
I've
you
read
have.
the history, just
Mm,
recently, some history, and it's like the history is quite there, that they went in, destroyed your shrines and destroyed your political spiritual systems, and
mhm,
and imposed Christianity on you with missionaries, and then made you work in plantations. And then when they started schools and educating you, they gave you their education. What else do I need to do?
mhm.
I don't need to do shit else to you.
Yeah,
And
it's
I hear you
crazy.
guys saying, I don't know why we do this, and I don't. Well, this is why we do the shit we do that does not work in our favor.
No, we need to choose what works in our favor and stick to it. I think is the only way forward because at the moment you see how Christianity and Islam, the foreign type of it, is ravaging the continent left, right, and center. And you know, so what's we need to expect. Honestly, and also the same people that actually claim to be friends of Islam, they came to Timbuktu. They try so hard, the great notes that my Mandinka ancestors managed to document, and some of the fuller scholars in Mali during the Empire days, who documented so many important textbook of Islam and so many different things we can learn from as a human race. The same Arabs came there trying to destroy and burn them. Why?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it just shows how demonized these people really hate us, honestly. And the more we learn, the more you look at it, you can realize these people been trying to trick us, and they think we are just we just like the what I don't know. And their way of looking at us as we're cursed people, and they actually treat us like it as well. That's what's painful about it.
They're messed up in the head about that, but originally it was about trade and about controlling
Mm,
areas for the
yeah,
trade, and
yeah,
and that was it.
yeah.
Was no special hate, I don't think, for us. Um,
Mm,
but I would imagine though, as they came into around us, not even
mm,
around us, the history of the history of our relationship to them, they were barbaric and looking at us with all of our
mm,
pyramids and
mm,
and universities and all that shit. That's how they saw us when they first encountered us. And they
right.
know that history. They know that about history. So if they're mad or
Mm,
jealous about it, that's what they're jealous about.
yeah, it's true. It's true. They came to the motherland. They can see how amazing these people are.
Yep.
Intellectually, everything. These people got it, and they're lucky. Europe is a wasteland. You can't grow anything in Europe without pesticides or using things. These people before they have access to Africa, they used to scrap for food and kill each other for food. I'm telling you, the fact. There's nothing here. And in fact, a lot of the things that are good that came here came from the south. They will tell you most of the things that are built in England here, where I live. In fact, one of during the Roman Empire, the guy
Hmm.
who built this country, who actually invaded this country, was an African guy. He's a Tuareg, the guy that actually built this country during the Roman Empire. He was a Tuareg from Africa. His body is buried in New York. So you can see everything that they knew. They learn it from us. They know it. But why are these so-called people of this Tuareg, who are Africans, have so much smoke for us as people who they find as neighbors, but they don't for the others? I don't get it. It's just like, why?
Why
And the
what?
same people, yeah, why are these Tuareg people have so much smoke for the black Africans, but they don't have that smoke for the others? And the funny part of it is, when the Arabs came to Africa, they the one that kicked the Tuaregs off their ancestral home, and it's the black Africans who gave them a place to live to stay, and say, yeah, you can live where you call, and some of it they conquered it, yeah, but some of it they were allowed to stay there.
Well, I think it has to do with it's some type of indoctrination, something that they got in their head that they should be better rulers or they're better than the black Africans. I don't know at what point that happened, but my understanding
Mm,
that Libya, of course, Egypt,
yeah,
Libya, Tunisia, and Morocco, and
right.
Mauritania, they were like Senegalese, Mali people. These were black people like that,
Yeah, yeah.
and they
And
were
Tunisia,
of Carthage. Okay, look at Carthage. Those were
yeah.
regular black folks.
Do you know this is just people think Africa, a black African, were limited to Africa, but it wasn't. There was a Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia was ruled by Africans. People
Yeah,
that you see, some of the dark
Sumeria.
skinned black
Yeah.
brothers that you see, some of the dark skinned black brothers that you see today actually are from that region called Middle East. who were chased back into Africa.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that? Phoenicia? Those were
Yeah,
I don't know. I think Phoenicians were
Phoenicians.
Africans too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, all that region, all the way to where you call
Yeah.
Iraq.
Yep.
This
And
were
there's
Africans.
still some black Iraqis that I was shocked when I see them
They're
because
still
they
there.
never show
Yeah,
them. I was
no.
like, and the ones, the white ones know those are the original people.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I speak to a guy from Iraq. He said they always have black people. I'm like, no, they're the slaves that was brought there. It's like, no. He said they have black people in Syria. And when I saw him, he looked like a mixed race guy.
Hmm.
Okay, and I said to him, oh, you're mixed race. They're like, no, because his hair and how he looks, his features. Then he started explaining to me that they have them, and it's great. They have black people. These black people been in that region for years. Even in what you call Palestine today, they still got black people there,
Hmm.
but they're very
Jordan
oppressed.
and very
Yeah, yeah,
black
oh yeah,
skinned people in Jordan. And my
oh
teachers
yeah,
were
oh yeah,
they were in Jordan at a restaurant, and
yeah.
these were some of the professors that I studied under. And it was a beautiful young black girl, very dark skinned,
Mm,
waiting on him. And it's like, well, where are you from? She said, oh, I'm from here.
yeah,
And he said, no, where are you originally from? She said, oh, my people are from here. And he says, well, I mean, how long? She said, we're forever. We've been here.
yeah. And it's so terrible how they treat them in the lands. In the UK, I mean, the Cheddar Man. I'm not far from Cheddar. The Cheddar Man is a
Mm-hmm.
10,000-year-old body. He's a black man,
Mm-hmm.
and he got his family. He got his people, the blacks in Cheddar. They're still there.
Mm-hmm.
His great 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 grandchildren. They're still there, but they're white now.
Wow.
Yeah, he came on the regional, because every region got their own local TV. He was speaking. He's directly related to the Cheddar Man.
Mm. Is that where cheddar cheese comes from?
Yeah, yeah, Cheddar cheese. Yeah,
Oh,
it's not far
really?
from me. Yeah, yeah, Cheddar. It's a
Wow.
town. Yeah, it's a town. These are old Roman towns. Romans
Mm.
settled everywhere, and the Romans really, changed this place. Before the Romans got here, this place was nothing, man.
Mm.
And the Romans, the Romans that really conquered the UK are actually the African ones,
Mm. The Tuscans.
the dark skinned ones. They're the one that conquered
Mhm.
here.
You know, before Rome, there was Tusk. There was it called Tuscany or the oh
Okay,
Etruscans, I think.
right, right, right,
Yeah,
right.
those were black people, the
Yeah,
Etruscans,
see, uh,
and they lasted the
they,
longest on the island of Sicily, where
see,
they were black there for a long time until the mix came, and then finally and that they were beefing with Carthage around those times, and I
right,
think it was the Vandals that did the final blow to uh to Carthage, the Germans.
right,
But we got
right.
history, man. All this history
Yeah,
and dealing with
yeah,
these, and see with our dealings with these people, we
mm,
got to remember
mm,
why, how, when we were dealing with these people before, because we act like we haven't, like we don't know them, or like this is our
mm,
first encounters with them, and since 300, 400, 500
right.
years ago.
Yes, I mean, what I think we need to do in regard to the Sahel, I think, to be honest, it's about time ECOWAS and the AES come together as an emergency, you know, um, points to say, look, this division needs to stop now. It's getting too much. We have more threat that we face at the moment. Okay, and said, let's put this division aside. Let's come together. We got our own differences, and also let AES do how they want to do their things. Don't dictate on them. Okay, let them build the economy how they want to build it. Let them be protectionists, because I like the protectionist mentality of the AES. Okay, ECOWAS, if you want to be dusty and sell out, fine, right? Then what you could do, you could actually use those Tuaregs that's up the north to take most of the territory up, like Mauritania and all that. Take it back from these people in the north, because the northern Africans, these Arabs in Morocco, they're not populated. These are small amount of people. The African population is growing, and basically take these regions back. Turn the AES to a highly militarized zone. But first of all, we can't do this without national service, army service, where everyone have to be in the army. People have to
What
join the
happened to
army.
the
That's what I mean.
15,000 troops that they were amassing? They were
They have joined the battle. I think that's what I heard. The AES is in Burkina and Niger are in there now. Finally, they're helping them battle this because the terrain is far. The thing is, these areas are not easy to fight. Sha.
hmm
I remember the former president of Senegal, Macky Sall. He said when the problem happened in Mali, when doing Assimi Goïta, when he just came to power, he said he sent some troops from Senegalese troops to Mali to help them fight. He said the logistic problem alone, it take them weeks to get to certain areas. Like so big, vast. Mali is an open country.
Mm,
It's not easy, man. So it's not
yeah.
like the AES is not helping. It's just the logistic side of it. So I
Mm.
think, yeah,
We got a
yeah.
new
I think
speaker.
Morales was on.
Got a new
Yeah, yeah.
speaker in the house. Anti
Anti
Morales.
Morales.
Hey,
Yeah,
what's up? Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
yeah. Clem.
Um, I came here to just support y'all, but it's good to have a decent conversation and people actually discuss. Usually it's shouting, so I like that. And another thing is that honestly, one thing I had a question is this: is that I heard about that Supreme Court thing. The Voting Rights Act had been overturned, and if I'm my understanding on that, Shah, since you're probably familiar with it, it basically reversed it says because the law that was created because there was racial discrimination based on gerrymandering, right?
Right.
That law has been overturned because, well, since there's no, I don't know if their argument was for it, but basically it's something around that, well, there's no need for it anymore, but the need for that law was because there was racial discrimination, which is kind of like
Right.
weird. So and you said something interesting, which is there's gonna be, there's gonna be more black businesses or something like that. That part I did not get. I did not get that part. I wanted just to hope you could
No,
clarify
what
that.
I was saying that I have been arguing with Democrats. We call them the bad Democrats.
Mhm.
I've been arguing with them, or not even really arguing with them, but making up my point about participating in the electoral process is good, it's important, and we should utilize it to its best. We should focus our vote so that we can influence it in the best way that we can, that's going to bring us benefits. But that's secondary. Primarily, we should be doing like the other groups. We should be putting our money together like the Ethiopians did and built their dam. We've got
Mm-hmm.
more money than the Ethiopians. We can put in a year's time, we could have a billion, plus.
Okay.
We could be using that money to build grocery stores. So there's things that we need to do to build our economics that we can do. Build our educational system. Even though we have our public schools, right? We
Mm-hmm.
could still utilize that money to make our either have private schools or enrich the public schools or whatever. So education, health, economics, and building businesses. So we have a car industry. People are complaining in Atlanta, Georgia about there's no black car dealerships. Well, we need to start a car company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can do that.
So that part, I actually agree with that. Starting a car company, however, it's more importantly to understand supply chains on that regard. That's what I would argue,
Well,
because
we would be our
Mhm.
biggest customer right away.
No. Supply chain, yeah, customer is one thing, but supply chain is more like,
Oh,
for
supply
example,
chain.
striking deals specifically. Like, for example,
hmm
there was this brother. I have, I don't know his name. 19 Keys.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
yeah, he went to Uganda, right? He got a deal on this. I forget was selling coffee for him. I don't know exactly the details, but he got a deal because he was basically, he was very focused on that. Now, for me, I looked at that. I'm like, that's a smart play. Getting actual people on the continent who are, because they're gonna give you a better deal there. You're gonna find a better deal, especially if you come for business, rather than aid, rather than, because one thing I always criticize other Africans when they go back home, even my dad, same thing. He did the same thing. You go there and you just want to build a house because you want to retire, and that's just not a good strategy. If I'm being honest, I'm not saying don't build a house, but why are we going to build something more than that? So on the car thing is like getting better deals for mining. Like there's an African American woman who had actually started gold mining in Zambia. I think it was gold mining. No, sorry, it was gold mining in Zambia. So I'm looking at that. I'm like, those people aren't really. Those people are moving smarter, but they're also not well known. So that's what I just wanted to bring that to the table. But another thing is that in my when it comes to Africans investing, also is that for recently, and again, I don't know if this is true or it's been discussed. Like for example, Dangote, he wanted to open a refinery in actually the city I was born in, Tanga, in Tanzania, and it was like a refinery Dangote with the three countries, Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya. Now, I think that would be a good deal. You know, the thing is that when it comes to billionaires investing, Dangote is like one of the richest black men in the world, right? But and he's investing that, and he had to go through a lot of bullshit in Nigeria. When I look at what he's trying to do here, I'm saying, you know what? You should make it easier for him to do it over there, because this oil crisis has already revealed the dependency that it's like one of those things. I'm glad it's revealed it, because now you just gotta have to act. You can't act ignorant anymore, because everybody has been delaying this shit, thinking that it's never gonna happen, or it's not gonna happen anytime soon. Now the fact that this war has started with all these things in the oil, it's revealed that a lot of these African countries become very dependent. And with a person like Dangote, which people accuse him of being a monopolist, and I say honestly, I don't care if he is a monopolist, me personally. Because at the end of the day, he's the only one who's willing to invest, or at least he's willing to invest more to set a good example. Like he already invested in a fertilizer plant in Tanzania and a cement plant in Tanzania. Specifically, I think it was a cement plant in Tanzania. And I would ask the reason he wanted to invest initially in Kenya, and the reason he couldn't invest in Kenya, it was just there was a lot of bureaucracy. That's another issue. Now Tanzania isn't perfect, don't get me wrong. But one, he got a deal to open a cement plant there, and also a natural gas plant that also powers the cement plant. And he realized in 10 to 20 years, that was the best deal there. That's
You know, the red tape in Kenya was that too many kickbacks, too many people had their hands out, wanted to suck up the money.
Exactly. Like a middleman and a middleman and a middleman. There's always another middleman, right? But in Tanzania, there was actually going to happen. Especially for the gas.
They're moving forward with it. I mean, they're progressing with it.
Yeah. My point is that in Tanzania, something similar happened around 2016, if I remember. Around 2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it happened, and then the president of Magufuli, I think 2016 or 2017, he came in there and said, hey, listen, there's too many middlemen here. We're just gonna, the government got involved. So the government got involved and made sure Dangote would actually be a successful in his project, because he was a key investor in Tanzania, right?
Right.
So one of the things is that I think here's the thing, he played favorites. And I think a lot of us, I don't know, maybe not a lot of us, but we all want to win, but the truth is that you gotta play favorite, and you gotta choose your favorites wisely. And I think for the fact that Tanzania, at least at the time when they chose, say, listen, Dangote is our favorite, and we want him to succeed, made him want to invest more.
Are we talking 10 years? Fast forward to now. We're talking about now, right? Because you're confusing me with 10 years ago and now.
Sorry.
So now, where are we at with it now? Because
now that it's already set up, the plant is doing well, but the thing is just, again, that's one example of a plant. Now they're talking about this oil crisis, but the thing is,
wait a minute, hold on. I'm talking about Dangote is talking to 3 East African countries for a refinery, the same refinery that he has in Lekki. He's going to build the exact model, the same thing, exact duplicate of that. In where? Tanzania?
In Tanzania, Tanga.
Okay. Right.
So again, there's no deal yet, but that's what they're discussing.
Right. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah. And that my issue, no, I don't have an issue with it, honestly. But it's like, I'm just going to be honest with you. I feel like that won't be successful, not because of him, but because, again, you're getting 3 countries involved, which is not a bad thing. But then this starts to these 3 countries are operating very differently. You got Kenya, which is a lot more democratic and bureaucratic. Tanzania, it's a lot more one-party state and a lot more authoritarian, but they get things done in their way.
Yeah.
And then Uganda. So that's where the conflict is.
Yeah. And what's the third country? Who's the third country?
Uganda.
Okay. Oh boy.
Yeah. So I'm like, damn. But anyway, that's. But my
Well,
point
I
is
wish them
that,
well. I wish
yeah,
us well.
I do. But I think one thing is that I'm looking at 19 Keys specifically, that he was going there on a personal basis. That's when I was like, you know what? That he played. I don't know much about his politics or anything. I don't really care. But the way he played it is like he played it smart. For example, if you could do something similar in like shea butter, for example, East African shea butter. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's a lot lighter than West African shea butter, and it's also produced in Uganda as well. So that's an example of another business opportunity there. But that's also one thing that I think you want to sell. That you are probably gonna, like you said, it's the African American market is probably gonna be the biggest consumer, because once they consume it, and also it's probably gonna get popular there. But those are the middlemen or the people who are needed. They don't know much about this stuff. That's what I will basically say. But I like the fact that you brought it up. Probably to talk more about it. I'm not as advanced in that area, if I'm being honest.
Well, that's man, it's a lot. It's a lot going on. It's a lot of pieces. Africa is so big, and it's like if there is, I'm sure there are think tanks, but I'd like to know which ones is most revolutionary and Pan-Africanist. What think tanks are those?
Right.
Because we need to break things down. Now with AI, you could do more. You could do more with less people in terms of getting information available for the right leadership, so they'll have the information they need in order to take us to the next place and safe us up.
Right. Right. Do you think tomorrow? Do you think we actually don't have enough think tanks in Africa? And if we do you think we're doing a good job?
That's
Because it's well needed, isn't it?
I think we have one. I don't think we have think tanks that are owned by Africans or are in Africa's benefit. That's what I will answer that. I'm pretty sure there's many think tanks, but most of them have a perspective. Like, I don't know. I think it was Shah who said it. That
Do you think our government uses them also?
They're
I don't think our
NGOs that are
government.
sponsored by the Western
Yeah.
world. Boom.
No, not only that, but it's like the way, even if it's, let's say, a think tank started by an African, let's just say, there was one, but it was started by this Senegalese woman. But she's married, again, nothing against her, but she lives in France. She has a French perspective. She has a Western perspective and a libertarian perspective.
Same thing.
So
Same
that's
Not
an
difference.
example.
Afrocentric.
Yeah,
That's what I
same
mean,
thing.
right?
That's it.
That doesn't help us. So
Yeah.
so even
No.
though it's an African think tank, is it really
Yeah.
in favor of Africa's point of view? That's an important discussion. So it's not that there are think tanks, they do exist, but are there think tanks specifically that are started by Africans, whether outside or inside Africa, doesn't matter, that have Africa's perspective? I think there's a lot of smart people, but think tanks are more than just smart people. It's people with either resources, experience, and some kind of connections that are able to get things and influence done. I'm gonna be honest. I told my brother this, right? My brother's a lot more methodical than me when it comes to dealing with people. I'm more methodical when it comes to dealing with systems. So I'm never gonna be out here and say, listen, I can go to a politician and I'm not gonna do it. I'm not that person, and I just accept it. Even though me and my brother, well, he'll say I'm technically more technical and more smarter than him. He would admit, but I'm not the leadership type, and I think that's another issue. A lot of us don't want to admit that. I don't think I'm not saying I can't lead anybody, but I'm not going to lead like 100 million people or groups. I'm going to lead a small technical team that is very much full of experts. I know I can deal with that because I expect them to have some kind of understanding. But most people, if you're going to lead a lot of people, you have to accept most people don't have that understanding. And they're probably not necessarily dumb, but they're just okay. And that person.
Well, that's where AI comes in.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't do it. It can't replace everything, but it's doing a lot. It's doing a lot. And if it would take you 100 people, you could have probably a group of 10 people that are really good with AI. You can make connections. I've never had a problem with making any connections if I really just put myself there, put on a suit or put on a traditional outfit, depending on the situation.
But you have skills for that. That's the difference, right? And those skills are very different than skills like. I'm not saying you don't have the other skills. Is that very rarely you're gonna meet a person who was very good at the thing. Is very good at things, and then also very good at people. Usually they're one over the other. I'm very good with things. My brother's very good with people. So you need people when it comes to leadership, I guess. You need people who are very good at making connections with people and then know how to handle people who are good at things. That's a different, like, because you're still handling people, but you need to know who's who's your engineers, who are your doctors, who are your sociologists, okay? Even though most people shit on sociology, they're important because you need to understand how people think. All that kind of stuff, you need to understand that. So, but you need somebody who, in some sense, and here's an important part, is charismatic. Most people don't like hearing it, but you need to be charismatic because people are still at the end of the day people, and they still want to be, they have to be influenced in some kind of way. I'm just not that person though. That's me be admitting it. I'm not that person. But I know if there was a right person in that area, I would say, you know what, I trust this person and I'll follow him. And saying I'll follow this person to some people sounds pathetic. I don't mind if it sounds very fine.
No, I mean, you're talking about an organization.
I know. But think about saying that to most people to admit that they need to follow somebody.
Yeah, those are people who are not informed. I mean, you're gonna have to have a leader to some degree. There's got to be somebody but I mean, you can have a group of people that act as a think tank, as a sort of council, and there's a spokesperson, and you're not necessarily following that person, but the person who's going to lead the organization, you can rotate that around.
Yeah.
But
Hey guys, we gotta close out. I appreciate y'all, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Down is Amir Search for Rule. Peace.